All right, got my boy Lonnie B. He back, and me and him. The other day we had I thought it was a very productive conversation about, black internet empowerment, which is, what I call it. I coined that. I guess I'm gonna coin it that just by adding the word internet. But anyway, what we were talking about was ultimately how one can get into the internet business, the internet business, as if it's just. But what I mean is, one can use the internet as a way to generate funds, to generate wealth. So my partner Lonnie has dabbled in it. He's been dabbling in it for a while. I started, and I kind of it's really interesting because I use the internet to get customers. I guess that's what you call a sales funnel. But I use it to I read a book, started jumping out there doing some things, and I actually saw some sort of success. So the point I'm trying to make is this discussion is basically between me and Lonnie and Edward. Speak of the devil, there he is. Edward just joined, and we're going to go ahead and get into this as far as discussing how can one get started, because Tyrone is a big fish. I didn't want to, not to say he was helpful. He's very helpful, but him and Edward, everybody was helpful. But I feel like us three can kind of come in here and kind of flatten out the iron, because I got a lot of people sending me emails now asking about those different names because it got cut off. I don't know why it got cut off. We did 2 hours and we only got an hour and a half, and that last 30 minutes was juicy. So
Yeah, it was.
yeah, so I want to kind of come back. We let you test the dope. Now we're gonna get you hooked. So, but check this out, man. First, I want to start. Me and Edward were talking earlier today on the phone, and he was actually mentioning that he thought it was, pretty interesting how you, franchise, were able to get into um, arbitrage. Which explain that. Explain what you meant by, you say you were going to the store, you were buying things on discount on clearance racks, pumping it through.
Well, to be completely honest, I didn't start off that way. I started off with just learning how to shop on the internet, things that I've learned. Uh, and actually, Reginald Stinson, the guy that we were talking about, one of the guys that got me and started in it, taught me on how to shop. And I don't know if people ever heard of giftcard.com or Be Frugal, and there's various other websites. Those are just a few that I use when I started. And basically, what I was doing was, great example. There's let's say on Walmart.com, there's a Stanley, uh, let's use a tool set or tool case. On Walmart, it may be a heck of a deal. It may be, matter of fact, I did sell one, and I'll use that one as an example. But it was a 135-piece tool set with uh, uh, the case on wheels. The mechanics use. It was two stories on wheels, and it came with a 135-piece tool set for $109 on Walmart.com. Well, let me show you how to make money and get it cheaper than that, in the sense that you can go to Walmart.com, get it, but you can also go to giftcards.com and you can buy $100 gift card for $99, or $90. So now, instead of that tool set being $100, I've already made $10 because I bought a $100 gift card for $99 from Be Frugal. From giftcards.com. Then to top it all off, you can go to Be Frugal, where they'll give you a kickback when you click on a link through them. And then there's other websites that do this where they give you a certain percentage or a kickback based upon what you spend. Now you can also be smart and become a what they call affiliate of Walmart.com and buy it through your affiliate link, and you also get a percentage off of that. So when you start looking at that, uh, you're looking at $100 tool set that you gonna sell on eBay for. I'll be honest. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I sold it for $150 on eBay.
How much was it
Now, mind
originally?
you, it was $100.
Okay.
So I sold it on eBay for $150. Now,
Franchise, you keep talking, man. I got Tyron, man. We got him in, man. We got the drunken master back, man. So,
Oh, okay.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. We glad to have you, man. I've been having a lot of people calling. I had a lot of buzz about your video, man, and that last 30 minutes got cut off. We were gonna kind of trying to redo what happened. Franchise is now talking about the arbitrage stuff you were doing, but I'm glad to have you, brother.
And so I sold it on eBay for $150. Okay, now mind you, I sold 36 of those tool sets. Now this was a sales item that Walmart had. I sold it on eBay. This is how I got started. I sold it on eBay, as I said, for $150. Now, mind you, the fees that's on eBay is roughly between eBay and PayPal, roughly 15%. So let's do the round mark figure. It was roughly 130 person. $130. Bill, that's my boy. I invited him to the link to listen, so he may be listening in. I'm sorry, Sub-Zero. That may be my boy that joined the line. But so you figure now that same $100 tool set, which I truthfully paid $90 for, I sold for $150 minus 15%, which is roughly gonna be about $20. I'm just gonna I'm rounding it off. That I gotta give out of that percentage between eBay and PayPal. So now I'm still left with $130. So I made $30 profit for something that I never owned, and I could get it cheaper than that because there's other sites that you click on, and when you click on them, they give you. Now, mind you, that $30 profit that I took home, that was left in my PayPal account after the person bought the item. I just simply went over to Walmart.com, paid for it. Walmart did all the shipping for me, and it was free. So I didn't have to worry about shipping. I didn't have to worry about overhead. I didn't have to worry about any of that. Now, mind you, I sold 36 of those items.
Wow. Hey, I want to add this one little caveat, 2 quick caveats for people to listen and keep this in mind. Number one, we are getting into, I'm sure Ty could respect this. We're getting into the holiday season, starting really.
Now, what money is that?
Huh? No,
which is where I was just going to go. That's where the money's at.
Yeah, and the second thing I want to throw in there is the fact that, number one, after the holiday season, when it comes to black people getting tax money and blowing their tax money, because though if you have like $2,000 or $3,000 saved up, a lot of this stuff becomes a little bit easier. Although I know you don't need to do that to do what you did based on the way you described it. So anyway, continue.
Right, like I said, I didn't have a dime in my pocket when I started this.
Okay.
Reginald Stinson taught me this personally. And so, because I was trying to do some things, and he said, well, if you got time. Now mind you, there's some searching that you have to do, which can be taught. There's some searching techniques that you have to know how to search eBay, Amazon, Wayfair. I use a lot of these websites to do this. And you don't have to have no money. You have to have time. And if you got time, You can literally, like I said, I sold 36 at a $30 profit, and I didn't have no money to start with. So roughly, now that was $30. This is the key to it. Mind you, I did. I told you I went through a website called Be Frugal, and you can find certain things and certain links where they'll give you a kickback because you clicked their link and you went through them. So I bought that product for $100, but mind you, I paid 90 really because I bought $100
Hold
gift
on,
card from giftcard.com.
Great job. Hold on one second. When you mention it, could you spell out, like you said, be frugal? Could you spell that? Because later on, people gonna come back. They gonna want to know. People trying to put stuff together, they trying to figure stuff out. So
Be Frugal.
We can put it in a description too.
yeah, I will.
Okay.
Be Frugal is B-E Frugal. I ain't the best speller, but you know, look up the word frugal.
L Frugal.
Yeah, and so when you use, and that's just one of the sites.
And
That's
Google
not all
it.
of it.
Google. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's just one of the sites. So I got, to be absolutely honest, but every one that I sold, I ended up getting a total of $3 back for every one that I sold. So now that's $33. That's $3 extra off of 36 that came into my pocket, and that was one product. That's one product on eBay. Now, mind you, at the time when I started, I initially started with like 7 products, and not all products gonna sell. The beautiful thing about it is you don't have to pay eBay until you get the money. If you don't sell nothing, you don't have to pay eBay nothing other than a listing fee, which is like 10-15 cents. But at the worst case scenario, if you're smart, you're gonna find a link to eBay that says your first 100 listings free. So now you don't even have to pay that. So roughly, I made that. That's how I got started. Once I saw I made that money, because to be honest with you, for years I had been trying to get into making money on the internet. I tried a bunch of schemes. I've been in a bunch of MLMs, and not all MLMs. And when I say MLMs, I mean multi-level marketing. Uh, Not all of them are bad. It just takes money sometimes to make money, and so they're not always meant for every individual.
Well, I know. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, all I was gonna say is I know this is Sub-Zero's hangout, but one thing that I was hoping to do, because I do want to talk about that, but I want that to be kind of like at the table end. I want this to be other ways, because a lot of people, when they think about internet marketing, they think about, oh, is this some type of thing that somebody's trying to bring me into? And I want, if anybody gets anything from this video, is that there is so many different ways to make money online and necessarily going that route.
And that's where I was going in. That's where I was going to go into how I got to buying stuff and putting it out there, or going into Walmart.
Lonnie, do you actually got to buy the product though and hold on to it until you sell it?
No. That's the beautiful part about the way this is done. I could take a person with no money, if they got time. I could take a person with $0.
But how did you
and
even?
It's like
real
estate.
Hold on one second. One person. What were you saying?
I'm trying to figure out how did you? I understand you bought the tool set, but so you bought the tool set with a gift card, but you never picked it up, or what happened?
No, I never picked it up. Here's exactly what I did. Like I told you in the beginning, there's a certain way you have to search, and you can search eBay in a certain fashion where you can find out what's selling, and you can see how many they sold. You can look at.
Yeah. You'll see what's trending. What I'm trying to figure out is how, unless you have a drop shipper, how are you not getting physical ownership product?
I'm going to explain that. So what I did was I found the tool set on Walmart.com. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I literally copied the ad, the pictures, everything that was on Walmart.com, and I posted it on eBay. When I sold one, I got the money from PayPal. I bought that tool set from the sale, and at the end of the sale, I had like $30 left in my account
Okay, so
on PayPal.
basically you use the person's money to buy the. So you're just listing things up there, and then when they pay for it, you take their money and ship it to them.
I go buy it off Walmart.com.
Franchise,
Yeah.
I was talking to Tyrone. He told me about this, and the other day I mentioned it. There's this thing called Dropship Domination, which is a course. It's only like $20 a month, $25, and they teach.
And that's how I got started. Reginald Simpson got me started in that. That's
Well,
what
yeah, that's one guy.
Okay.
That's one guy, but then you got Dropship Domination, who I went through, Otto Thompson, but you don't have to necessarily sign up under him. But you can go to Dropship Domination, sign up, and start taking. They'll teach you step by step how to do that.
Okay.
Exactly.
Another thing I wanted to say too is, I am all cool about questions, and I'm gonna be in the chat, and I'm gonna try to answer questions too. But understand, we're gonna be talking about a lot of quite a few different topics to make this video as high value as possible. Like down the road, maybe sooner than you would think, we might create certain products. Maybe you pay for it, maybe you won't. That'll really give you visual details. He actually does a screen share saying what he did to give you kind of a case study on one or two so you can see it. So if he's already said something and then it's kind of like somebody asked the question, kind of repeating it, that kind of convolutes the entire video if we end up saying the same thing over and over again when we know this is going to be replayed. And that's not to say about you asking that question. I know you didn't know, but that's something I want to put out there.
Hey, Lonnie, real quick, what happens if the promotion ends? How do you go about that? Hey,
Well, you only list a few because I'll give you a great example. The best money that I've made on eBay came from an item that was sold on HeyNeedle.com. There was a dining room table set that was on sale for $4.99. But let me show you how to make money off that $4.99. When you sign up for
Hey Jay, you got an echo. Man. Could you mute? I think it's echoing back.
okay.
When you sign up for HeyNeedle will give you 10 to 15% off what you.
Franchise.
Can you guys hear me?
I hear you good. I was saying, Jay.
Give me 1 second.
Well, why he's muting it again, I just want to say, what'll happen is if we will get when some of these questions can be asked offline, I want to create a Facebook group so some of this stuff can be archived. But what happens is if we start asking all these detail-oriented questions, then we'll end up spending an hour and a half on one thing rather than putting the idea out there so people can have a broad understanding as far as how deep and how wide this goes.
Okay, well check this out, Elwood. If you could, man, go ahead and speak on some of your experiences.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm back.
You good, Franchise? Elwood, go ahead and speak on some of your experiences. I know you said you dealt with it, and you were able to bring a lot to the table in the other discussion. Hopefully, we'll get Tyrone up, and he can drop some fire as well. So,
one thing that I think is a huge thing, and Tyrone talked about this a lot, and usually this is the type of thing that gets ignored, even though it's the most important stuff. The most important stuff over Tyrone really said at the end of the day is, and Tyrone can agree or disagree with this, but it's not the tactical things he was talking about, because that stuff changes. That's the mindset stuff. You wanting to read the books, you wanting to absorb the information, and most importantly, you wanting to execute the information that you actually absorb. It's one thing that I've heard from a really strong network marketer. He says, invest, learn, teach. And a big reason why you teach these things is because it's a different way to reinforce what you've already learned, but you can see it. So it's the mindset stuff that you have to have. You have to have a mindset of an advertiser. So one of the things that Lonnie talked about, that's something that you can use as seed money. to then be able to lose money to learn how to spend money on advertising and stuff like that. Like I understand that when brothers have jobs, they're not trying to really lose their money on jobs that they work 40 hours, 60 hours a week getting. That's hard. That's hard to lose that type of money. So you need to get a business that you can leverage the bigger stuff, like the stuff that what like Tehran did, even at like the $10,000 level. Don't even pay attention to all the money he was talking about before, because that's like multiple levels up. So that's the biggest thing that I can impart to you all as far as experience goes. Another thing that I would say too, and I'll talk about the network marketing, the affiliate marketing, well, the network marketing MLM stuff later. But another thing I want to contribute to this conversation, since we're talking about things, huh?
No, when Jay unmutes, yes, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Jay, hold on one second. Jay, you can jump in, man. Just mute it back when you ain't talking. That's all. It happens to me sometimes too. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't think I was.
I just had that one question because Lonnie was talking, but he came back. He didn't get a chance to answer it because I'm trying to figure out. He said he bought this set for $4.99 that was on sale for a limited period of time. So I'm trying to figure out if this is just something that you can use with products that are not on sale, or can you take advantage of the sales as well? Because I want to see on how far in the extent is this. So I just wanted Lonnie.
Well, let me answer that. You can do it for a limited time, but you don't want to overlist those items, because if those items are out of stock online, then you're out of stock. And it's easy to even if you got it listed and somebody purchases it, is nothing for you to call for you to email a customer through eBay and say, hey, I'm out of stock on that. They may ask, hey, when you gonna get it back in stock? So yes, you run this as a normal business. The key to making money on eBay or doing what I'm doing is great customer service. When that person buys that item, you contact that customer immediately. You don't hesitate. You sending out emails. So it's not like, okay, I just buy it listed and then I get to it whenever. No, you're giving out great customer service. And that goes a long, long way.
Yeah, because
I bought the item. There's also other ways to make money, because the item was $4.99. But when you join HeyNeedle.com, where you're buying it from, your first item, they're going to give you 10 to 15% 15% off on your whole purchase. So instead of the item being $4.99, the item is $4.35 or something like that. I ended up getting it for, and I sold it on eBay for $5.99. Now you're marking up the items, but it's the same as if you're buying business. You can sell your stuff for what you want to sell it for, and like I said, I sold it for $5.99 when it all said and done, and I sold probably 20 to 25 of those table sets. Now, mind you, I got it for $4.35. Plus, I could have went to giftcard.com, which I didn't, but I'm also an affiliate of HeyNeedle.com. So I also get 10% off on that. So all that money is coming back in my pocket.
Yeah, and like I said, it's something that has there's a lot of nuance and detail to it, because what you're saying is there's the way when you sold the two sets for $100 and then sold them for $150, that's like your initial margins and markup, and then you had other things that kind of added on to your profit margins.
Right, and you increase your profit margin, and once you get to the point, literally. The reason that when Bill called me and asked me, I said, I've been trying to tell people this for a long time, in particular Black people. They're like, oh, man, whatever. But if you don't have a job, you sitting at home, you're doing nothing anyway. You might as well be learning how to make some money. Because the only I heard somebody say this today, and I can't remember who it was that said it. And it was on the movie Power. I was watching Power today. And the character Ghost said, the only way out of poverty is opportunity. And that floored me. that floored me because it's a real statement. The only way you're gonna come out of poverty is you have to have an opportunity to make it, and you have to have you have to have a exit. You have to have a chance. You have to see something more than what you're surrounded by.
Well, let me ask you this for a change. You can answer this or someone else. So what it sounds like you're doing, right? It sounds like what you're doing is you're taking the product that you're finding online, then you first do your research to know what's selling on the marketplace. Once you have that information, you go look for these products. Then you get an idea of what type of prices it's going for on the marketplace. Then you price yours accordingly. From there, I guess you guys go search the products at a different distributor or retailer to find out, can you get it underneath of that margin? And then you post it up on your board, eBay. Once you post it up on there, you guys wait for hits. Once you get a hit, that's when you go ahead and take that money from PayPal or whatever you guys are using as the merchant, and then go purchase that product and ship it straight to the customer, right?
Correct. Now, here's the key. This is the big key. And I think, I don't know his name. I think it's Edward said it earlier. You got to think like a marketer. I wasn't just posting stuff up on eBay. There's a tactic. There's a way that you search eBay, which that in itself could be a whole nother topic. And it's going to be long drawn out. But in the searching, you got to know how to get your stuff ranked. How you putting your titles up there. There's a lot of nuances to this, as he said earlier. And then you got to look at what's selling. Okay, so and then you can break down between items on eBay. You can click on a seller and see, okay, how many of these did he sell? Okay, now he sold them at $156. What can I do to outrank him so that when a person goes to eBay and they type in tool set or whatever, I want to be at that top 10.
Now, the way you get up that top, is it solely just based off of you having the lower price, or what type of indicators that you need in order to put inside of your description or your advertisement in order to rank higher?
That's where I was going. That's why I said it's a whole nother topic.
Hey, check this out, y'all. Check this out. This is what we'll do. I know both of y'all. I talk to Jay all the time, man. Jay a sharp brother. And me and you and Franchise, we talk all the time. So check this out. Later on tonight, we'll get together. I'm gonna put all y'all, we exchange numbers, and everybody we're gonna just going all the way through with it. Step one.
And this is a good. Oh no, go ahead, because I gotta hop off for a high.
That's all I'm gonna say. Let's just everybody just hook up and chop it up offline. And anybody that's listening to this video, if y'all want to get in, and y'all want to get some, if it's because let me say this, Jay asking some real good questions though. I ain't trying to belittle the brother.
I don't have a problem answering.
Yeah, he asked. That's what I'm saying. Let me finish this one statement. He asked a good question. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody, because I want to get Tyron involved and really try to learn something from him and soak up some game.
Tyron is who I need to talk to, but that's another subject.
But here's another thing. I just want to see again. He is asking good questions, but here's the thing. This, like, we could take this back and forth, and this can literally. I've done it. Like, I'm on BGS Igmore's hangouts. Do you know how long his hangouts are?
8 hours.
His hangouts are 8 hours. Literally. We max out the YouTube hangout thing. So I can tell you from experience, I'm talking about every week. We literally had a hangout we did yesterday. It wasn't on business though. It was on a lot of other things. But my point is, here's the thing. What Jay's talking about is a Q&A. And I'm going to tell you, for a Q&A, the questions you're asking are very good questions. So, but for what we're trying to do with this video, that will like completely suck up the oxygen for everything else. So yeah, I'm cool with doing another hangout in which I just listen to Lonnie and I ask you questions, Jay asks you questions. But another thing to keep in mind is we're gonna have to present this information in more than just talking. We're gonna have to do it visually so you all can get it and structure it, because you're talking about an SEO element, you're talking about a research element, you're talking about a monetization element. There's a lot of elements you're talking about, but you're talking about the broad view. And what Jay is doing in the details. And the details can take a long time. That's all I'm saying. So it's not that we're saying you're
so basically what you're saying.
Can I interrupt? I still want to answer his question.
Go ahead, Lonnie.
Jay, here's what you do. There's a way that you can You understand that your title is really important. And
Keywords.
then keywords. And then also the price. So I want to beat him out on price, number one. I want to beat him out on price.
Facts.
So can I beat him out on price? Let me look and see, can I get this where I can do it at a lower profit? Now, the key thing that you want to do, always remember, no matter what you leased on eBay, doing this, you want to lease and make $5. If you can make $5 off of it, list it. Whether you sell it or not, because if you don't sell it, it doesn't cost you anything. And worst case scenario is going to cost you 10 cents or 15 cents. Now, once you get it listed and you get it sold, you relist that same ad again until that item is out of stock, or you stop selling it and you keep listing it and you make money. Now, if you may start off listing 35 items. Now, I'll tell you another key thing that you're gonna make money off of, and people think that it's a joke. But I walked into Goodwill and bought a box of baseball cards. I paid $2.
Goodwill.
$2 for those box of cards. It was almost 500 cards in that box. What did I do? I listed them on eBay for $1.50 a piece. Within one less than 1 week, I'd say 3 days, every baseball card I had listed was gone.
Well, let me say this, man. A lot of the information you're telling them, I do think we can probably also, I want the listeners coming after this to know that this information can be, you can get it at DS Domination. They got, when I just went to the website while he was talking, they got a video clicking, explaining everything step by step.
Man,
and once
that
you
was
get
supposed to be
inside,
my link.
hold on one second.
I'm a member of DS Domination.
Say what?
I'm a member of DS Domination, so in the description, we'll leave a link. I'll send you my link, Bill, because I get kickbacks off that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you, Lonnie.
That's what's up. But yeah, we just want people to get in through that. And a lot of this information is explained. Even you got Otto Thompson, who has a YouTube channel. He'll sit there and explain all this stuff. He do videos. That's all he talks about. His whole channel is dedicated to drop
can
ship.
I say something, Bill?
Go ahead.
This is the reason I like doing this, and I'm enjoying this, is because I've been trying to tell brothers and sisters this for at least the last 3 years. At this point in my life right now, if I lose a job, I'm okay. I ain't gonna rush. Why? I honestly, I'm almost to a point where I would rather not have a job so that I could do what I know full time. Because mind you, everything that I just told you, I was doing this maybe 2-3 hours a day.
That's a lot of work.
So, but it's some work. You figure 2 or 3 hours.
No, I'm saying that usually people work 20-30 minutes and make a lot of money. But if you're doing 2-3 hours, you was killing it.
Yeah. But my point is, look how many brothers and sisters out here sitting around on welfare, they got internet at home and a computer and not using it to make money.
You need to get the information out there.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's why we agreed. I was talking to Edward, and what brought this video about was I was talking to Edward today, and we were like, you know what, man, when it got cut off, we really lost a lot of points because Edward dropped a list, and we put it in the comment section. Tyron did send me some people in the email that I did put in the comment section, but Tyron really kind of gave what each person is special. Like the guy Vince talked about that. He gave me one for ebooks, which was Greg Caesar. I've been watching his videos, and he has something called an Arzon or whatever. I was watching him. So it's different people, different disciplines. It's just like if you want to flip houses, you got Carlton Sheets, you got all types of different techniques, different styles of learning and stuff. So everybody's different, man. So that's why I wanted to kind of have this video, really to put some more information out, and maybe one thing will be said, because I've already started doing some stuff that I'm not going to discuss. But I've
Well,
already.
see, Bill, I mean, Sub-Zero, you got to remember one thing. A lot of the times, and I'm speaking from personal experience when I say this, when I first started getting involved in trying to make money over the internet, a lot of stuff people take as being, oh, this is a scam. They don't think it's realistic, or they think it's far-fetched. But when you have an application like this is something like this will spark a person to say, okay, when you actually get that first dollar on the internet, it changes your life. It changes your mindset. The moment that you actually seen a benefit come from your work of money outside of going to work, punching the clock that you just sat at home and did, it changes your mindset because that first $30 that I made, I know the exact amount. And that first $30, I went bonkers. I was like, oh, I'm eat sleep this. Because if I can make 30, I can make 60. And if I can make 60, I can make 90. Or I can make 120.
Well, let me ask a question, and if Tyrone, if you're there, if you're listening, I would love for you to answer this question. If not, maybe we'll get somebody else. I know he been muted for a while, so he might be busy. But I would like to know what stops people, because I think I ain't trying to be funny. I think you can make $20, $30 a day, $40, $50, maybe even maybe $60 a day. What stops people from trying to get to 2,000 a day, 3,000 a day? What are the pitfalls that you'll run into? What are the pitfalls that you'll run into that will make a person say, "Oh, let me get it." That'll make a person say, "Man, I like it, but I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that." What are
the loss of money, the investment that you have to make? The one thing that I've noticed about making money on the internet is there is an investment. There is an investment that you have to make, and that is education. And
you got to pay for somebody's training course.
Yeah, and when you get that training course, you say, "Oh man, I knew that already," but it's the application of what they're saying. It may be one thing, and I think Edward said this on the previous. It's that one little thing, that niche, and people don't realize that it's niche marketing that is making money on the internet. It is not the advertising to the masses. Those that are making money on this internet right now, such as Ty, they're making that money because they've learned how to, or they've mastered how to get to that specific group that they're trying to get to. And there's a brother that made me realize it, and he does music, and his last name is Leslie. I can't think of his first name.
Ryan Leslie.
Yeah, he broke it down in a numbers game that was so amazing that I was like, oh wow! And it takes 5 people to do it. And when he broke that 5, it takes 5 people with a Facebook group that you could market anything you wanted to market, and you would make millions, not just a couple, or not just 1 million, but a couple million, just based off 5 people.
Well, hold on, franchise. I'm trying to get a point out, and I just want other people to speak on it too. Because what I find is this: just from I done all types of businesses, man. I done, and you have to start eventually as a Black person, especially as a serial entrepreneur. You have to start looking inwardly and saying, "Damn, I did this, I did that, and I stopped and I quit and I didn't finish." And that's something we don't really discuss a lot of times. We discuss what could be done, but it's one thing to try and give a half-assed effort. It's another thing to stay and weather the storm, and that stick-to-itness, to see things through. And that's where I'm at right now with certain things in my life. I'm trying to really, because I had to come to a point where I just said, man, I'm trying to do different things. I got to put some of this stuff down, man. And so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what makes, what are some ways you can kind of see to stay consistent? Because it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to actually do, like you just said.
In response to that, Bill, I would say what we're doing right now, that's the only real
facts.
The only real way to overcome it. because you need that encouragement when you make that mistake and you say, "Oh, dog, I should have did this or I should have did that." When you don't have like-minded, the one thing I've noticed is that when you don't have like-minded people around you, then it's kind of hard. It's one of those things where you get discouraged, but it's things that you said to me in our personal conversation, Sub-Zero, that has pushed me. For an example, my real estate endeavors. If it wasn't for you, unbeknownst to you, I probably would have gave up a long time ago. But because of some of the things that you said to me, or some of the things I've heard you went through, I was able to step back and go, okay. And so I think encouragement would be one, to help people through it. Two, just determination. It is, like you said, an inward look and focus. Because a lot of the times you have so many things going on. You got work, and some of us got families, some of us got personal things. So you got to be able to put that stuff to the side, get focused on it, and scheduling and planning or organization helps a lot. So
right, like today, I'm actually typing out some stuff I'm doing, and I spent 3 hours like going through some Salesforce stuff, taking some practice tests, looking at playing within the application, doing different things. So you gotta be willing to split it, because that's the thing. Like, I find as a black man in America really trying to grow and have a business, time, man, you gotta really know how to budget your time and really set yourself and say, okay, I'm gonna spend the next, like I knew today was Sunday. I said, Sunday, I'm gonna work on this pertaining to that conversation about internet marketing. So I got some things I'm creating. I'm actually creating some, what do you call it? Subject matter expert, as a subject matter expert of 5 or 6 different things I know I can talk about. And I'm actually focusing on those things and creating some materials so I can start going out here and creating that sales funnel. And I actually went and bought the book that Tyrone mentioned, Cash Vesting. I went and bought it. They have an audio book, just in case you didn't know. It's on audible.com. I forget because I got it for free. I think it's only about $10. But I'm subscribed, so every month I get a book. So that was my book this month, Cash Vesting. So, and it's real good. He's really talking about the psychology of the customer. He's talking about different studies. He's talking about how, basically what Tyrone spoke to, where he was talking about understanding the customer's story and understanding why would they want to buy. If a person is 400 pounds out of shape, that's something that a lot of people want to do, is lose weight. So why would they want to buy your training course on how to lose 10 pounds in 2 months or 10 pounds in 30 days?
And realistically, the number one thing that you want, I would say, in anything far as selling, to understand that you're not going to get every single person. Your objective, I look at things from a perspective of a numbers game. If 1,000 people actually see my ad, I personally believe that only 10 is going to buy. No more.
So let me ask you this then. What I've done a little bit of internet marketing. What I found out is 2 things. Either you putting in like a lot of work, where it's like for what I consider not enough money for the work that's being put out. So, I mean, I would get into certain things, but I have a bar that I'm trying to meet. And if it doesn't meet my bar, or it's taking too long to reach that bar, I'll go back to something else that I know I can reach my number. So a lot of times for some people, what stops them from moving forward or taking it to that $2,000, $3,000 a day is because they know something else that can go make that kind of money, and it's just too slow on the internet. It's not happening fast enough.
Okay, can I answer that question? Can I answer that?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, brother.
All right, here's what people got to understand, and I'm gonna say this respectfully. When you look at what like somebody like Tehran knows, most people, like, even have looked into the internet, know less than 1% of the actual real information, not all of the sales stuff, but I'm talking about what it really takes to actually make something happen. So let me give you a perfect example. You said effort, which is completely legitimate. The problem with most people is they want to do, and this is not you because you can recognize the difference. They want to do no effort, but they're not willing to put the money up to do no effort. You know, I can
Bingo.
talk I can talk all day about how to outsource, and I can show you how to get Filipinos to do certain things for you in order that you don't never have to touch anything, even if you did like a legitimate operational business. Like a lot of stuff Lonnie talked about, real talk, I could probably show you how to outsource a lot of that research to certain people if you know how to systematize it to the point where they don't know why you're telling them to do it, but you know the value of what they're presenting to you. And guess what? They can search. I've been to the Philippines. When it's day for them, it's night for you. So by the time they're done, you got your stuff laid down. So there's ways to do things that's never really talked about until you get into certain networks and certain groups. And that's a lot of stuff Tyron was talking about on the last call. Now, as far as the other part of what you were talking about, as far as getting to the money, type of money he's making when it comes to ads, the only thing Tehran is doing is analytics and research. And a lot of the research that he's done, he can kind of, it's kind of like getting within what I call a perfect alignment with your customer or your target audience, to the point where it's kind of like game, where you talk to white girls a certain type of way, but you got to approach black girls a different type of way than you approach white girls or you approach Hispanics. And people with certain type of game know how to jump into each of those modes to get the outcome that they want. Talking to different audiences is a lot like that. So what happens is when you spend the money and you understand what the customers are responding to and what they're not responding to, then you end up being able to hone in on what type of ads you need to do, and you get more of a niche for that, an eye for it. But the problem is, a lot of people will say, I don't want to spend the money, but I don't want to put in the effort. And you're going to have to start with it first.
Edward, I would like to get your number, Edward, so that me and you can work on some things, because there's definitely some things that I can stand to learn. Can you hear me?
Oh, vice versa.
Yeah, we all
we
agree, man.
can exchange numbers at the end, but what I'm getting at is that a lot of this internet things is where it's like you have a teacher, and this teacher has students who pay a monthly subscription, and he feeds them on a spoon little by little, and you take it step by step. So meanwhile, until, because it's like a car is built in different departments. You know, you got your exhaust, you got your you have your electrical system. So it's different systems, a part of building a building like an actual vehicle, just like the body. So until the whole system is operating correctly together in unison, most of the time the system doesn't work. Exporting and outsourcing, that's easy. You got guys in the Philippines and all over that work for $2-3 an hour. But what I'm saying is that what's stopping people from going to the $2,000-3,000 a day is that either you spending the money to learn, and it's taking too long for the information to come to you.
Honest. I want to make something honest.
Let me finish up though. It's taking too long for you to get the information, because what happens is that most of these instructors they charge a monthly fee. So they have it spread out. They have the information spread out for a certain amount of time, where if you're a quick learner like myself, you don't got time to be sitting here for 6, 7, 8 months, because you can get the information in like 6, 7, 8 weeks. So that's a lot of things that stops people forward, because it just takes too long, and the whole time you're learning, you're paying for it. So
hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. That's a damn good point John just made. I've seen it, and I will co-sign that 1,000%. And now I do think. Now let me make a point. But Edward, I know what you're gonna say. He's gonna say a way around it, but I do think that does a lot of people when they trying to get into something, like especially Forex or binary options. It's a ton of people out there. Get my course for $100.
Okay, can I please respond to that though?
I want to respond back behind you, because I know what you finna say.
Hold on, I want to get really Tyron, because let's see. This is what I'm talking about with mindset, John. I'm gonna tell you something. At the end of the day, I call that paying your dues. The reality of the situation is, I can give you all the information, nearly all of it that you're talking about. I know where it is on YouTube. So I'm telling you that when I create this group, when I create this mastermind group, I'm dumping it with information that I promise you that Tyron, and I don't know Ty like that he could co-sign this information that people would charge for. I know where a lot of it is.
I don't got a problem with that. Let me ask you this. Do you believe so much in your group that you're going to put together that you're willing to put students in together for no charge and only charge them a percentage when they make a sale? Or are you going to charge them a monthly fee up front to get yours right on the back, right from the beginning?
This is what you're not understanding. At the end of the day, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, when it comes to people that have the information, it's up to you to pay your dues. And I can tell you,
I just asked you a question, brother. I don't got a problem paying, brother. I'm just saying, I'm answering Sub-Zero's question. What's stopping people? What I'm asking you, this is what I'm asking, brother. Listen, do you believe in your system so much and you got enough confidence that you know it will generate results that you're willing to charge people after they make a sale?
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question right now, because this is kind of getting away from what we really intended to talk about, because this is turning into something else. How much money would you be? I want Ty to really get if he will get involved in that. Ty has done something that most people don't do, which he showed you on the other video. He showed a screenshot of the account of the money he brings in, proving he knows what he's doing. How much money would you be willing to pay Ty to learn what he's doing that would make it worthwhile to?
The screenshots? I didn't see the screenshots, brother.
Yeah, hold on one second. Hold on, John. Let me explain. This is like a continuation of the last video I did. Tyron, which is the brother right there that's muted, actually showed where he's making $130,000 in a 30-day period. So he's not like the average guy.
I understand.
Let me say this one thing. I feel what John is coming from, and this is what I think where we're missing each other is, John is saying everybody out there on the street is trying to get into this information.
Everybody can make it.
Hold on.
Can I ask a question here?
Yeah, but hold on, man. Hold on.
Get into the truth.
Hold on, because I don't want to get them. I want to have some structure. What I'm saying is, people out there on the street, when they try to find information, they're running into these crooks. That's what he's basically saying. And
well, here's the thing. A lot of the times that what his response was, I want to personally say that I think sometimes you're rushing past stuff and you're rushing and you're missing a lot of key stuff.
Thank you.
That just because you picked up on most of it over that 6 weeks. But if you go back, you'll go back and look at stuff and be like, dang, I should have did that.
Hey, brother,
listen,
learning is different for everybody. You might have to learn on the internet because, you might not be too used to it, but I grew up with the internet. So for me to pick up on something like this is not going to take me that long.
Let me tell you something. This is why. What you remember earlier in the conversation where I said a lot of this stuff would be talked about online in the Q&A. Remember before you started saying
Tyron, after this, man, Tyron, please come in and add something.
No, I understand that, but this is why I said that, because the reality of the situation, John, is there is nothing I can tell you that's going to put you at ease. There is nothing, because what you're speaking to is something different. You have to make a decision that no matter what it takes.
Brother, that's not what I'm asking. No. I asked you a straight up question. I asked you, do you believe in your system and have so much confidence in your system that you are willing to charge your clients after they make a sale, showing that your system works? Or are you going to do like the other gurus and everyone else and get yours up front, knowing that? Listen, brother, let me finish. Or are you going to be like those other gurus and get yours up front, knowing that it's not going to work for everyone? Some people are going to quit. And that was in response to Sub-Zero's question. Why do most people don't reach that $2,000 a mark? And what's stopping them from getting into this and going further? This ain't no attack on you or your system. But those are the response to that question. And then I ask you a direct question.
We're not selling anything. That's the thing. You're talking about something we're not, like Lonnie got on here and gave you information for free. You didn't pay for that. That's what he gave you. We're not doing a webinar to get you to buy something. This is us talking. This is the main reason why I wanted the link to only be certain people, by the way. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just saying that because we're not selling anything. If you really understand the information I'm about to dump to you all for free, we're talking about this from a black empowerment standpoint, from me wanting to get black men.
All right, I feel you. Go ahead and jump in, Tyron, man. Go jump in there. Tyron, hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Tyron, man.
He's smiling, boy. So he got some information. It's amusing to him, boy.
No, because Ty know what we talking about.
Okay.
This isn't an attack on you, brother. I'm just asking you a question.
Hold on.
That's all I'm asking.
When I
ask the question, direct, I don't need you to get all in your feelings or emotional.
That's what. Hold on. We're not gonna do that because
we ain't finna do this, fellas. We're not gonna do that. We are not finna do that on this conversation.
Let's go ahead.
Get that in the book.
No, we're not gonna do that. But the brother is sitting here yelling and going into his voice and saying that this is why I did this. But I'm asking you a direct question, brother. You can say, brother, I don't know, yes or no, or that's it. But if you can't answer the question, just say this is not something I can answer right now.
I'm telling you right now, if somebody would have asked me that, I would move on to the next prospect and I would say, have a nice day. Because I could make that guarantee, but I would never make it.
Brother, I'm not asking you for that. This is more like your character. It's a character question. Because if you say yes,
it's a character question.
Look,
so
man,
you say,
look, this is getting personal.
Can we pause? Can we have this off the air?
I'm just gonna move on because by you not answering question already told me the answer.
So he just said I got bad character. Sub-Zero, that's your guy.
Edward. Let's not feed
Put Sub-Zero in this, brother. Listen, brother, this ain't got nothing to do with Sub-Zero or you. I don't got no problem with you. I just asked you, do you feel confident enough to do that? Me personally, I would say no. I'm not gonna do that because it took me time and I had to learn this information. So I'm gonna charge people up front.
Jay,
You didn't say none of that.
Jay,
you just went around the question.
Can I interrupt? Can I interrupt 1 second here, fellas? I want to ask this person. I want to ask this question. Can we please refrain from that? Because one, what we're doing is showing the bad side of things. And let's have that off. Because this is live right now at this point. And if we're here to educate brothers and sisters, let's educate them. And any squabbles that we got, let's put that to the side. Tom was going to address this question.
I've been getting from the knowledge for a long time, and I don't want to keep talking about and beating a dead horse. I already know the brother's not going to answer the question.
Okay, that's fine. Jay and Edward, let's refrain. I want to get this information from Ty because he may have something very valid.
I got the thing out. Let me see. I got the thing out. I can mute people. I'm not gonna do it, man. We grown men. If we can't come up here on a conversation and talk, then that's sad, man. You know what I'm saying? Offline, we'll all have a conversation. We can go back and forth. Tyron, please come in, drink your water.
Please
come in, brother, and drop this. This a guru right here. And the thing I'm gonna say before he started is he actually went and read a lot of books and was already successful when I met him. He hadn't started but 2-3 months in. So explain and speak to that. How long did it take you? What was your journey where you got to where you were successful, Tyron?
So I've been listening to the conversation. So so I'll start with the first question and then I'll answer. His name is Jane, but his name is Jason, right? It's listed as Jane, but it's Jason, right?
No, brother, it's Jane on there, but you can just call me Jay. If you heard the question I had.
So Jay's question was basically about, if you had a system, so I just put myself in the other brother's shoes. If I had the system, that I felt so confident about, would I bring people in for free and so on and so forth? And the answer is no. I would charge people up front. And the reason being is because of what you just said, which was if you're so confident in it, would you bring people in for free? So realistically, the hard answer is no. From a marketing standpoint, you would bring some people through as a beta test just so that they could test your stuff out. And then you can use them as testimonials. So that's the only time you typically would do that. Now going back to Sub-Zero's initial question, which ties into why people are typically charging folks for free. And I'm talking about real people with real information, not the low-hanging fruit folks. So real people with real information, the reason why they're charging people up front is because, and this isn't dripping out all information. You can typically the high-end people are putting everything on the website so that you can log right in and you can jump to where you're at, because they know that the people that are coming in are at different levels. So they want to make sure that everything is there for you so you can jump in there and get it. If you're beta testing, so I brought you in for free, all my information may not be up there for whatever reasons. Maybe stuff isn't in the VIP section or yada yada yada. Or maybe you're building as you go. So there's different scenarios. Now back to the people. The people, so now people are paying to come in, or they're paying monthly, or they're paying, a lump sum up front. What typically happens, the reason why people don't scale is because of a lot of the reasons that you guys listed earlier, and basically, not having the right support group. But what it all boils down to is accountability, and they don't have anybody to hold their hands and walk them through. So friends of mine now that have masterminds, they're charging people $13,000 for the year for those masterminds. What they're doing now is bringing in people to basically hold people's hands to take them throughout the process, because they know that the information is solid, and they know that it works because it's tried and true. But the people fall off because life issues happen and so on, and other things happen. I had a guy when I was teaching Amazon, he paid me throughout the whole training, because the training was live and I was recording at the same time. And I told him I wasn't going to take his money once we got to like module 3, actually module 4. So it was like a total of 5 modules, and he still hadn't picked the product. And so I basically was like, yo, I'm not going to take your money anymore. And he begged me to take his money because he just wanted to go all the way through the process. And even to the mastermind, we got together at the house, he didn't even bring his laptop. So now I'm there and I'm going to sit down with you and we're going to open up our laptops and work through this thing. And he didn't even bring his laptop. So he brought an iPad or something like that. And you can't do this type of work on an iPad. So long story short, is it's accountability. People need accountability partners. They need solid accountability partners to take them through the process so that they can continue to scale. If the world is perfect, their money is right, they have everything in place that they need, the last thing they need is an accountability partner to take them through the process. So that's why.
Hold on, Lonnie. Let me ask you a question.
Hold on. That's why most folks are not scaling. And then the second reason to why people aren't even jumping into the water in the first place is because of poor marketing, poor advertising skills on behalf of the marketer themselves or himself or herself. So if they have good marketing, then they're bringing people in and people are taking a jump. If they don't, then they don't. So Tony Robbins is a good example. Anybody that sit around listening to Tony Robbins stuff is paying this guy, $8,000, $5,000, $20,000, and then other people are paying a couple $100 for a ticket to come to some of the bigger conventions. So if the guy's a great marketer, he's going to bring people in, and people are going to listen. Like Lonnie said, out of 100 people, if you get 10, you're doing phenomenal, because that's a 10% conversion rate. But typically, out of 100 people, you're probably going to get 1. So that's what you should expect. That's it.
Let me ask you a question. You spoke the other day about a guy. You said he was at module. What you were just mentioning that. What do you mean? Are you training people yourself, or was it some module that somebody else was going through? What was that?
Yeah, so just like a lot of internet marketers, I was doing a lot of stuff on Amazon, ran into some hard times. So I was like, okay, well, let me start teaching what I already know. And the hard times basically just came from algorithm changes. It wasn't anything that I was doing wrong. Everything was working, but I got hit with a hazmat algorithm. So while Amazon was moving my stuff from one warehouse to another, I was like, well, how am I going to bring in money? So that's when I started teaching. And I was working with the radio station, WAOK, 1380 WAOK. And I did a live event for them at the Club Capture or Club Future. I think it's Club Capture. And did a live event there. And then from there, I did training for like 10 people. It was like 10 people that came in and out of it. And so that's what I did. So one of the videos that's live now on YouTube is actually the live. It's actually like a sit down version of the live event that I had at Club Capture.
How much do you charge to do what you're doing, and how much would you say? Like if I was to say to you right now, hey Ty, I want you to show me what you're doing. How much time would it cost me to invest, and how much financially would it cost me to invest for you to train me?
So if you sit down with me, it'll probably be anywhere between $2,500 to $5,000, and time is time depends on you.
That's low.
Okay. Well, secondly, how much would I have to invest? And I'm not trying to be where you're at, but let's say realistically, if I said, Ty, right now at this point, I want to get to a point of, I want to get 20,000. Let's say realistically, I want to get $5,000 a month. How much financial, not including your fees, how much finances would I have to have available to make that happen?
I don't know, because and nobody really has the answer, because we don't know what product you're going to get, and then from there we don't know. Then from there, once we know, so let's just say, so one, we have to know what the product is. So, and I think so that kind of sort of goes back. That almost goes to another point, which is when you're approaching these gurus or whoever it may be, you really want to try to do as much front load work as you can, because what happens is you're kind of sort of burning through time and money because you don't have your stuff together up front. So realistically, you want to come to somebody and say, this is the specific product I have. This is what I'm trying to do with it, and can you help me do it? And the great thing is, a lot of people will tell you no, because I don't have any background in that. So which is great for you. So either one, you can get a discount because maybe there's some other things that you need to know, and then when you get to a point, you can kind of sort of break off and go work with somebody else. So there's some very specific things. Every time I go to a conference, there's one specific thing that I need for my business that I'm trying to get from that specific guru, or maybe just somebody in the audience. And then anything else that I get from the conference is gravy, or anything else I get from the gurus is gravy. So I think that's one thing that we need to have. So the question that you're asking, I can't answer that. Nobody can answer that, because it's way too broad. You would need to, because that would be part of the process. You would need to be trying to find, you just gave me $5,000, and now you're twiddling your thumbs trying to figure out what the product is going to be. And that's not my job to tell you what type of product you should be selling.
So, I have a product that I'm really personally thinking about contacting you, because I have a good product, and I would put it out there. It's iMarkets Live. You may have heard of it.
It's
what is the product?
It's through that guy. Reggie.
iMarkets Live.
Reggie.
I'm not hearing you. Is that a physical product?
No.
Oh, it's a digital product.
No, it's not a physical product. Go ahead, Edward.
No, all I would say is this is kind of like going to a lot of these questions it's kind of like if you
hold on for a second, Edward, hold on for a second. Now, Lonnie, what is the product again?
iMarkets Live. It's training on Forex, and it's sort of MLM, but okay. I'm somewhat limited on my marketing ability on it.
Got you. Okay, so basically, what you're telling me is that you're proven with this specific product, and it is a digital product, because it is a digital product. So you're proven with this digital product, and you have results. You have results of using it and making money with it, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what I would tell you to do, so here you go. You ain't got to pay me $5,000. Here you go. What I would tell you to do first, so here you go. So what I'll tell you to do is basically create you a Facebook group, and title it the right way, use your keyword research, title it the right way, and then from there, start doing demonstrations. Don't show everything, and just kind of sort of outline what this whole process looks like. Make it a 5-step thing, make it a 3-step thing, something like that, where, when you finish that final step, you should be doing it. They should be doing exactly what you're doing, or they should be doing better. Either way, depending on their research and depending on what they know. But that's the first thing that you want to create. And then you can kind of sort of share some of that content, or the high levels of that content, in the group. And then you can have your mastermind group that breaks out of that. And now you really don't have to spend a whole lot of money on marketing. The marketing is the actual demonstration marketing, where you're demonstrating to people, this is what I can do. I'm gonna take a brand new Forex account, or whatever the account is called, a brand new Forex account, and I'm gonna take it from this to $200 a month, from this to $500 a month, and you just kind of sort of show people the highlights, and that's it.
Okay.
Let me ask you a
Hold on
question.
with that
Tyrone. Hold on 1 second. To me, when I see people that are very successful in something, a lot of times, if they're successful, they don't care about teaching, because they're pulling money down anyway. And when I saw your account the other day at 130,000, I'm like, I wouldn't care about teaching. I wouldn't care about trying to teach. I mean, I would probably just be focused on growing my business. I mean, is that your mindset, or do you feel like that sometimes?
Yeah, my mindset is going back to what you were saying earlier, where you was talking about being here, there, and everywhere, and why people are like that. And I think the reason why people are like that, it goes back to, I think, what Jay was saying earlier, which is it's not coming fast enough. And what that tells me is that goes back to, that lends itself to what Edward was saying, which is that's a mindset thing. You have to know what you don't know. And you also have to do something that a lot of us don't like to do, which is plan. So you need to kind of sort of know going in, okay, I can account. Well, if you looked at, let's say you wanted to list something on eBay. Well, you may want to write this stuff down on a sheet of paper saying, listing on eBay requires a picture, description, and this, that, and the third, and then make sure that you have that. And then the next thing, it requires you going out to source this, then make sure you have that. So that way, when you run into one of these little modules of going through this process of completing this whole thing, whatever it may be, you can see where you're kind of sort of stuck at. And then now instead of you having this big old plan, now you have these micro sections of a plan that you need to accomplish. And then you will start getting more stuff done, especially if you have it written out. And then from there, you kind of sort of have a roadmap, and you'll nearly finish everything that you put in front of yourself, because you've broken these things down. And even when you get to something that's already broken down and that seems too much, then you just break that down even more. And a lot of us, again, going back to mindset, what Edward said, a lot of us don't have that mindset, and it's been advertised to us as being very easy, but it's not. A female friend of mine today, I looked at her Facebook ads account, and she was targeting, let's say, 15 million people. And I reminded her of the training that she had. And I was like, that audience is way too big. And she was like, but, and I was like, and that sales copy is trash. And she was like, but she's in the mastermind now. She's in the $6,000 mastermind. And I'm like, that sales copy is trash. And her response was, I keep seeing people do a whole lot and make a whole lot of money. And I keep seeing people do very little and make a whole lot of money. And my question that I asked her was, have you really looked that deep into their business to see what that little bit of effort that you think they're doing really looks like? And her answer was no. So I was like, you got like 100 different things going on right now, and you're spending all this money, and you're kind of sort of all over the place. You're going to have to focus. You're going to have to shrink that focus down and take what you know and apply it right here and get this thing working, and then go move on to the next thing. There's no way for you to do 30 different things. So to answer your question, I know that I don't have the back office built in for me to be trying to teach people, or for me to be trying to fulfill any type of services. The most I can do is consult somebody that already has a team. They already have everything in place. And all that thing I need to do is, for 15 minutes a day, is open up my mouth, tell you and your people what to do, and then y'all can go do it. You can come back, let me know the numbers. I can look at the numbers, and I can tell you the way forward. That's all I can do.
Hey, Tom, what is the product that you do?
Say again, I'm in the hair loss niche.
The hair loss niche.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a physical product you sell?
Say again.
Is that a physical product that you actually sell yourself, or?
Yeah, I only sell physical products online.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't sell any digital products. But that's about.
Is there a reasoning behind that?
Is there a reason? Well, I'm about to add a digital product to my physical products. That's what that is. And then from there, as far as the digital products go, again, I think you need that back office. So I think, and I also know that I want people coming from my Marine Corps mindset. I want to be a great leader in that space too. And I know folks are going to need some hand holding and I want to be as liberal as I can be with my time. So I want to make sure that my current business is solid. The people there are trained up, and they're kind of sort of running on their own. And then I can move over to the digital product thing and be in front of people like live in person and do that type of teaching. I really don't want to have too much stuff out there on the internet. I probably want my stuff to be more so in person. And I see my Asian friends doing that as well. So they have these Facebook groups. They'll come in, they'll drop knowledge in the Facebook group. And then if you really want that one-on-one, which is what people need anyway, then they got people flying, paying $6,000 and flying to Phuket in Thailand and just sitting there with their laptops open for like 5 days and just knocking shit out.
Let me ask you this, man. Do you mind? Because when I met you, I thought this was real fascinating, like, about how you came about creating your product. You say you went to a show, and could you speak to that and give the people a little bit of your backstory as to how you, as you don't have to give what it is. I know, it's all about being competitive, so I get that. But can you at least speak to how you did and what? Because I thought that was very interesting.
I didn't hear that. What'd you say? How I created a funnel?
When I met you, you say you had went to the Bronner Brothers show, and at the Bronner Brothers show, you went and did some research. And from doing that research, I just wanted you to speak about it.
Yeah. So just like I said before, my background is military. My background is military. Hold on one second. MasterCard, Visa, American Express. My background is military. My background is military. So basically shoot, move, communicate, protect high level individuals and a family. And so that's basically what my background was. So the Marine Corps, and then from the Marine Corps, while I was in the Marine Corps doing diplomatic security, and then transitioning from Halliburton, doing international projects, to Blackwater Security, which is a mercenary organization. And then finally, so I was making that transition, my girlfriend opened up a salon, and with the money that she was making while she was working at Halliburton, and she wound up losing the Halliburton wound up losing the contract. She wound up getting fired, and then from there, she got me involved in SEO. So she was sitting at the computer, she was trying to get the keywords right and all this type of stuff like that. And I just basically because you Superman, so I just like, oh, okay, I can figure this out while you at work. And I did. So I picked up a couple books, started reading on SEO, and that's what kind of sort of got me into the game of marketing. And first SEO, and from SEO to Amazon, then from Amazon to advertising and Shopify. So
where were you in that process when I met you?
Well, when you met me, I think I was already doing like $400 a day or something like that, because that's like 2015. So I think we met in 2015. So I was still on Amazon. I was probably scaling on Amazon at that point. And
how did you make money on Amazon?
I didn't hear you.
If you don't mind me asking.
I didn't hear you.
How did you make money on Amazon?
How did I make money on Amazon?
That's a broad
Did you brand a product or?
Yeah, brand. Yeah, so I was private label and branded. Yeah, private label and branded, and using SEO tricks to rank on Amazon. So all this came about because my girlfriend wanted me to go to Bronner Brothers with her and go to all of the Bronner Brothers business classes, and then basically translate everything that I had learned to her, and so that she could adopt it in her business. So long story short, what I seen was that there was the vertical in the beauty industry, which consisted of having a hair salon, having your own products, and also having your own product line, and also having the hair extensions. So those were like the three tiers that I saw in that vertical. And so when I went there, I did research, I took pictures, I talked to people, I asked questions, that in your face research. And then from there, I just observed what I was seeing in the hair salon, because I would work in there some days, answer the phone, sweep up, do laundry, that type of stuff, talk to stylists or whatever. And I could just see what the problem was. And the problem was people was having hair loss issues. So, and I even told her, because I started doing I started doing a lot of content, a lot of research when I was back overseas in Afghanistan. And I told her, you need to pivot your whole salon from just weaving to more of a hair loss, healthy hair type of environment. And so once I got involved and started talking to people and doing the research, goes back to, I think Lonnie was talking about this whole thing of niching down. I was already organically in that niche. So I just stayed there and I just did my thing there. So when we met, I probably already had the first product.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, if you have a lot of times for the listeners, you don't have to do research. A lot of times, what you know, if you over 20 years old, 25 years old, you done something. You got some sort of, niche that you got, because it sounds like to me you just took, and that's why I wanted you to tell that, because you just took what was in front of you and you maximize it, and now that's pretty much where you still are, and you flourishing with that instead of trying to go learn yoga. I don't know nothing about yoga. I know a couple of moves. I don't need to be trying to create a yoga course or something. I can only speak to what I dealt with: business, basketball, IT, different things like that. So
yeah, I think going back to the whole thing, you do have to do research. You don't really have to do research in a whole nother niche. I do think that you should, stay where you're at and observe, know the niche that you're currently in, 360 degrees. So, and I think that's what you should do, because sometimes we don't. And again, going back to reading those books, when you start reading those books, then you understand the opportunities that are right there in your face, that have been staring you in the face the whole time. But we're typically just in a box. And that's what I explained to my girlfriend. Had I just been in the military box or the security box, then I would have never been here.
Bring it to the
Y'all breaking up. I don't know if that was Edward or Lonnie.
Yeah, Edward was trying to come in. Edward.
No, all I was gonna say is, even within, just to piggyback on stuff, the box thing you said, when I have a one of these outlet stores where I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's called like Ollie's Outlet Store, and it's a chain. And what they do is they get pallets of stuff. You know how when it comes to distribution, where stuff either is opened or cut in a certain way, so they got to get rid of the whole pallet. They buy these pallets up. And when Lonnie, I've never heard of the entourage thing. So when Lonnie said what he said, that opened up a whole new dimension, because I can go to these stores and I already know about Goodwill and the other stuff in order to do the stuff that he's talking about. So when what you said as far as the opportunities and the dimensions, a lot of times you just need that spark, and your brain needs to be kind of tuned to be able to better find those opportunities. And that's where the books and all that stuff comes into play. So you're exactly right.
You know what? Like, one thing with Tyrone, it just seemed to me, when you got started, so you're saying you went into this with the mindset of, I'm gonna have a long term, I got my hard hat and my boots and I'm just gonna work. You had a long term approach, right? But it sounds like to me you also did a lot of reading, and that kind of helped you. You didn't really have to sign up for a lot of the courses. Am I wrong to think that, or did you go through that period of signing up for these courses that you would not touch again to save your life? Did you go through that?
Yeah, I gotta. God put me on the. Well, first off, I was already operating with the law of attraction. I was already using the law of attraction by the time I came to the whole internet marketing thing. So one day I looked at my Facebook feed, and all was on my Facebook feed was like twerk videos and all type of stuff like that. And World Star Hip Hop was like all that was coming down my Facebook feed. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to get serious about this whole internet marketing thing or this SEO thing, because that's what my focus was, SEO, and I thought SEO was like everything. And so I was like, if I'm going to get serious on this, then I need to change what's coming down my news feed. So that was the first thing I did. The second thing I did was meditate, and I went and looked for a mentor. And I wound up finding a mentor. His name is Ayanna Tillman. So he had already had the hard drive full of courses, that you're never going to touch again. So I was able to get access to that. And then I was able to, tie into like hacker groups and stuff like that, to where I didn't have to spend a lot of money on courses. And I was able to burn through a lot of courses while I was overseas. So I had a lot of downtime overseas, and I was able to absorb a lot of these courses for free and see that there was some BS, or if it was good or if it was bad. So when I got to the Amazon course, I saw exactly, so I've been able to see both sides of it. And what Jay was talking about was like, they drip out the courses, they drip out the information, and then people fall off because they're not getting information fast enough. In that Amazon course, you had like 15 sections, and in each one of those sections, it was like 10 different videos. So people would literally open up, when they would get access to the site after paying $8,000, they would go into the site, open it up, and see all of this content and just close it back, because they would just be overwhelmed with the videos. And then when they click on the video and see that the video was 30 minutes long, I guess they would just start doing the math in their mind, and they would just break away from it. So, again, it goes back to, you can drip feed it to people and you can give it to people at the same time. And then sometimes people are just going to be overwhelmed and they're just going to throw their hands up and just say, I'm done. So you get it on both sides. But for me, I was able to cut. I had the using the law of attraction and meditation and having that mentor. I was able to cut through a lot of the BS and then get to some of the real stuff, because he had already done a lot of that. What they say, a good mentor is worth 1,000 books. So he had already been burned and everything else. So he knew who was good and who was bad. So that's what helped me. And what's crazy is I absorbed a lot. I took in a lot of information, and I was applying very fast. So I was getting it, applying it, because the hair salon and the stylist in the hair salon couldn't eat Google clicks and Facebook likes and shares and all type of stuff like that. Everything had to be about putting money in these girls' pocket ASAP. So everything that I did had to have a very right now, what is the results going to be type of outcome. It couldn't be anything that was just kind of sort of up in the air and in theory. It had to be, we did this and this happened. So then that way, when I did this and that didn't happen, then I would try to figure out what the problem was.
So that sounds like the most ingenious thing you said on the other video. You said, before you even start your own idea, you might want to find another business as a consultant and develop the skills. Because when I met you, you were only 3 months in, you had already made 60, because you had already gotten the skills. So that's
I already had those SEO skills, and that's what allowed me to shoot. That's because I got in and I understood that Amazon was just another algorithm, and I was like, it's a weaker algorithm than not Facebook, than Google is. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna get in here and kill it, and that's what I did. I got in there. I just kept looking at the algorithm, and once I understood the way the algorithm worked, then I just got in there and I did my keyword research and I positioned my product. I think they actually had some advertising tidbits in that training.
Hold on.
I said I listened to it. I was able to position my stuff a certain way, not just position it like everything else that was being listed. And,
okay,
and that allowed me to make money.
The algorithm, were you actually going? Is there something? I mean, because I'm just playing the devil's advocate, but are you going somewhere and looking and specifically seeing it written out, or are you just saying, I'm taking observation of what it takes, looking at different study, reading books? I mean, how did you observe the algorithm?
Yeah, so long story, again, in the course, these guys are telling you about the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? These guys are telling you that this is what the algorithm does. This is what the algorithm is looking for. So just like the last event I went to in that I paid $7,000 for in Austin, we literally sat down, and this is so the Amazon algorithm is called the A9 algorithm. That's what the Amazon algorithm is called. The Google algorithm is just that, the Google algorithm. But in Austin, we actually opened up the what is this thing called? What is this thing called? It's a trademark. Is it the trademark, or is it? It's not the trademark. It's actually something else. It's something like the trademark, where basically they have. What is it called?
The source code?
No, not the source code. No, it's the I can't think of what it's something like the patent. So we actually looked at the Google patents on the algorithm, and from there we was able to reverse engineer. We're able to reverse engineer the Google algorithm and see what it is that we need to do to rank high in the search engine. So that's way more complex than the Amazon algorithm. The Amazon algorithm is basically based off of keywords, yes, but mostly sales and conversions. So when you have all of those things in place, your keywords, your sales, your conversions in place, and outside sources of traffic, when you have all those things in place, you'll be number one in the Amazon search engine.
Okay.
So yeah, so just having that basic mindset of I'm going to have to feed this thing, 5 or 6 different things in order for it to do this and, make me number one so I can start getting this organic traffic. I had already had that from the SEO world. So when I came in doing the research and everything else they was talking about, it was just like, okay, well, I had to do the same thing for this. So now that I'm over in the advertising space, now it's becoming more intricate. It's becoming deeper because we're dealing more so with psychology. And then when you have these high level psychological principles, it's like, how do I boil this stuff down and how do I boil this stuff down and get it to work so that way I can use it? Because the stuff that I'm learning now is stuff that they're using to treat people for trauma and all this type of stuff like that. And I'm trying to boil this stuff down and get girls to buy hair extensions.
Oh, hey, get that money on, get that hair money, man. Somebody needs to get it this black. But I just wanted to add something to the algorithm thing. I remember when I was coming up and doing SEO, there was a guy, and he's still out there. His name is Ryan Dice. Do you recognize that name? Yeah,
I just came from his event.
Yeah, he does. Very great dude. Digital marketer is you want to talk about a place that gives a lot of really good. But my point is, when he was, I remember this goes back to what Jay was talking about as far as guarantees. And I'm not trying to hash that up, but I just want to say that just so he knows I understand. I bought products from him that would talk about dealing with the Google algorithm. And what happened was, if you didn't use those products quickly, this was back where Google had more of a free for all when it came to clicks were a lot cheaper and stuff was a lot easier, and then it got harder as they started rapidly doing constant updates, like the Penguin update, then the Panda update. So my thing is, Ryan would put a product out and he would do it the fastest he can, but what happened is Google would do another update. So the thing is, do I say Ryan is an asshole? I'm never dealing with him because I couldn't implement what he said fast enough because Google kept changing everything and that stuff was outside of his control. And at the end of the day, he stopped doing that altogether because they just kept changing it and he moved on to other things. This is back when he dealt with Perry Belcher a lot closer. And so my point is, a lot of times, sometimes you can't always control certain outside business elements to where things would work and then they turn out not working. So what does that have to do with what Ty just said? A lot of the stuff that I learned from Ryan Dice initially, even though that stuff didn't work with Google, it worked with some of the lower end websites because they had much more basic SEO principles that were like Google, like back in 2007 and 8 when it wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. And that's what you were talking about, what I got out of when you said like Amazon had much more simpler SEO stuff. So a lot of times it's not that the information is bad, you just have to know where to reapply it. And a lot of these social media sites use a lot of basic SEO stuff that Google did years ago. Facebook is not in that because they have a closed platform. But even Facebook has an algorithm too. So it's not always that these people are selling you trash. Yes, some people do. But a lot of times this information is updated so fast that certain things fall out of fashion and then they may come back into fashion because of a certain element that changed in the whole internet marketing world. And that just depends on what you're doing. So I just wanted to put that out there because it's not always that people are trying to play you.
Yeah, that's exactly why I said you got to get
3 algorithms
fast enough. Because if you're the guy that learns quick and the internet's changing every day, like Tyrone said, these guys will have 30 videos, 30 minutes long, 50 chapters. This is a straight setup to take your money. There's no way. Then they normally have a VIP section where most of the material is. You don't get that until you completed all the modules. And then more than likely it costs more money to get into that VIP access. So if I see something like that, I was telling Sub-Zero that automatically makes people not want to get involved.
That's still, that's still a reference for like low-hanging fruit type courses, you know, or people that just, you know, people that are just doing nefarious stuff. But the main thing is
guys that say they are in the internet marketing and they say they're doing it. Like if you look up that term, you'll see a lot of people. So whenever you find someone who comes up and presents themselves as a guru or says they have results, you got to make sure that you really vet this person out and to have enough information to decide this is the person I'm going to follow or I'm going to put money into their hands. Because a lot of the time, some of these guys, they go bust in a few months and you call them or they email, it doesn't pick up. You can't
that's the people that's that low hanging fruit type people. But you're 100% right. You do need to do your research on people, because there's even actually sad part is the more I've been getting out here and talking to people and you know, talking to these people that's like, you know, like the guys that are like all in the camera and so on and so forth. You start hearing the backstories of some of the higher level guys, and it's very, very interesting. These guys have done well. They've fallen off. They bounce back, fallen off, and bounce back again. So you definitely want to look for people that are you want to look for people that have a long track record is one thing. That's not the case all the time, because there's a guy that I'm following right now that I was about to give $6,000 to. This guy basically just came out of nowhere, and an Asian cat at that. And but again, as you train your ear, you'll be able to hear. But but the main point I want to make is you have to get the principles down for whatever it is that you're doing. You have to get those principles down, because the algorithms, the internet, the this, that, and the third, we're dealing with technology. And I just gave a presentation earlier this year, and I told them while doing the presentation that I would have gave you last year would have been different. And somebody that was there that was knowledgeable. We had some knowledgeable people in the room, and I love that, because it just takes the conversation to the next level. But we had some knowledgeable people inside the room, and they said, "Why aren't you teaching people?" The guy said, "Why aren't you teaching people to do this?" And I asked him, "Well, why do you think that would work?" And when he gave his response, I had to tell him that the algorithm has changed. You can't do that anymore. And when is the last time you personally have tried to do that and it worked? And he didn't have an answer. He had to sit down. So
because a lot of people are not nerdy like.
So hold up. So what I'm saying is that going back to what Edward was saying, that you have to learn the principles of whatever it is that you're learning. I'm just speaking to the audience now, but you have to learn the principles of whatever it is that you're learning. And that's why I gave you the root, the foundation is those advertising books that I gave you, because whatever medium, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you know, Twitter, not so much, but Twitter, whatever, or Google or whatever, you have to know the foundation, and that advertising piece is the foundation. Why are you trying to rank that? Why are you trying to rank that website? Even the guys that are at this high level SEO event didn't understand why you're doing SEO. Why are you doing SEO? You know what I'm saying? It's more than about just ranking a site and gaming the search engine and everything else. That is distribution. You know what I'm saying? So what are you distributing through this process? And that's why you have to read these books. So that way, when you distribute your product, you're distributing a good product and you're making money off of it. So we as Black people have to, I mean, anybody, whether you Black, white, Asian, whatever, but most people maybe culturally just, you know, understand this or whatever, but we have to know those principal elements that never change. So if you know the principles, as soon as you get in there and start talking to a dude and you start asking him questions and he doesn't understand what the principles are, you already know you need to get the hell up and leave, because this guy don't know what the hell he's talking about. Maybe he's got a tactic or two that's working right now, but the principles never change. So maybe these tactics are working right now, and then the next day these things change. And I was just eavesdropping on the phone call the other day with a high level guy, and the guy was and the lady asked him, she said, "But you said something different. You said something different just last month." And he told her, he said, "Yeah, because I'm in here testing every single day, I notice when they change something, even before they announce that they're changing it, I know that they're changing something. So that's why I keep changing." So this guy's literally said to do 3 or 4 different things within the last year and a half that I met him. But the cool thing is there is some sort of consistency amongst all of these gurus, and all of them are kind of sort of saying the same thing, But again, like he said, these things keep as they're every day. These guys at Silicon Valley are testing and tweaking and testing and tweaking, and they're trying to win, and we're trying to win. So the people that have the money to spend, so that actually get in the game and that keep going back and forth with these different changes and reading all these articles and everything else, you're trying to stay on top of it, but the principles stay the same. Principles stay the same no matter what Facebook do, Google do. Principles stay the same.
I have a question to ask you, and it might be a little bit off, but I just have to ask this question. Since we're on here, and I know that Sub-Zero is going to post this, if you could make a suggestion, just a hypothetical situation, if you were to, let's say you were down to your last $1,000 and you had to start all the way over, what would be the product? How would you do it? Pretty much. I would ask a why, but that may be too in depth. But if you had $1,000 to invest and you were saying, okay, my goal is to get back to $400 a day, and all you had was $1,000 to work with, how would you do that?
I would probably jump into drop shipping, because the skill sets that I have in running Facebook ads, I probably just jump into drop shipping, or I would talk to some other manufacturer and see what it is that they're producing, and I would try to see if that's something that my audience that I know about loves or likes, and then I would just feed it to them. So to get more specific, I would probably go to, let's say, what is this company called? I can't think of the company, but I can't think of the name. Design Essentials or Shea Moisture. I would go to Shea Moisture or Design Essentials and say, let me run this. Let me take this $1,000. Let me run ads, and I'm basically going to sell this. I'm basically going to sell this product, and we'll split the profit or something like that. Is probably what I would do. Or I would just find a product on AliExpress, like the spinners, for instance, because I actually did the research for a presentation. These spinners. I found those spinners.
You talking about the fidgets?
Yeah, the fidget spinners. I've
been trying to do that. That's where I'm on right now. So continue, because I'm gonna run with this.
Oh. So yeah, but I don't know the market. Maybe the market may be saturated. May cost you a little bit more to get a customer. But for instance, I found the fidget spinners, so I would run with the fidget spinners. If this would have happened, if I'd have been on my last $1,000 last week or early this month, I would have went out and found a source. I would have went out and found a sourcing agent for these shades for the Eclipse. So I would have jumped on the shades for the Eclipse, and I wouldn't have again given my whole $1,000 because I only have $1,000. So I still need money to run traffic. So because I still need money to run traffic, and I think Facebook is charging every day. So yeah, I'd probably spend $500 on those shades, and then spend the other $500. I probably wouldn't need that much, but probably spend the other money on traffic, and then just keep recycling the money.
Do you have to privatize? Do you have to brand a product to make money on Facebook, or can it be digital, or should it be specific? Because I'm asking because I want to get into the Facebook thing. I'm not familiar with Facebook advertising, and that's something that I'm really, really interested in doing. So that's why I'm asking these questions.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've already answered your question about the digital product thing. So I already told you what to do from there. So you don't even have to really spend money on Facebook ads for that. If you find something that's working for you, or that has worked for you, you can just look at the analytics in the group and be like, this video that I posted is killing it. Now you can run more traffic to that. You can run more traffic to that video, and maybe get more people in your group, or sell, some sort of summit or some sort of conference, or some sort of in-person training or whatever. But I got my friends. One of the guys that I listed, Marquell. What the hell is Marquell's name? Marquell Chill Gates Russell. So Marquell Chill Gates Russell, young brother, got goals in his mouth and everything. and he sells physical products. He sells basically coaching. So he coaches people on how to write Facebook ads, and how to write Facebook ads, and how to make $10,000 a month. That's pretty much his thing. He teaches you how to make $10,000 a month. doing whatever it is that you want to do. And he helps, he trains on mindset as well. So Marquell Chill Gates Russell is the brother's name. And he's right here in Atlanta, but he travels. So I done seen him go to DC, New York. I haven't seen him go out west, but yeah.
Hey, the other day, the video cut off the last 30 minutes. You dropped a lot of good names, man. I hate to be redundant. You spoke as to what they do. I posted what you sent me in email in the last video. But if you could just briefly, because you gave me the guy Greg Caesar.
I got you. From a broad internet marketer standpoint, I would start off with Ron Douglas. Ron is a real life. Ron is wealthy. Commercial real estate title deeds wealthy, and just a super cool, real humble cat. He knows what he knows. And what he don't know, he'll tell you, I don't know anything about that. You know what I'm saying? Or this is the depth of my knowledge in this particular subject, and the rest of it, I have no clue. So I was even having a conversation with him, and he just looked at me and was like, "Wow, that's deep." And he was like, "I'm not getting that deep." You know what I'm saying? So that's where Ron is at. So from a broad internet marketer standpoint, I would say Ron Douglas is a brother that you can talk to, and is a brother that you can follow, and follow the people that he brings to you. So he doesn't do everything, but he sources guys that he has a long-standing relationship with, and those are the people that he introduces to people. So Ron Douglas, and so the next brother I would say is Ty Cohen. Ty Cohen is another. Ty Cohen, I think Ty specializes in Amazon book launches like Greg Caesar does, and Ty Cohen has been around for a minute. I've seen people interact with him at these conferences, both at Ezra Firestone's conference and at Ryan Dice's traffic and conversion conference, and they run up on this dude like this dude is Michael Jackson or something. So and I had never heard of Ty Cohen before. So Ty Cohen is somebody that's TYCOHEN, and then the next these are brothers, right? All these are brothers. All these are brothers. Yeah, all I'm naming is black people. Okay. And these are like real, like all of these cats. Like I've had a chance to like really meet a lot of the cats that I'm naming first, because I've sat down with them and even bounced some of the stuff that I knew off of them to see if I was right or maybe something had changed. And they was like, yeah, that's good, because before I jump on stage and present to somebody, all the way down to the last minute, because this thing is constantly changing, I want to know if this stuff is still the truth. So Ty Cohen, TYCOHEN, Ty Cohen. So he's broad level internet marketing, but I think his focus is on his focus is where he's made a lot of his money at. I think is with launching books on Amazon. So that was one of the things that he did. Launched Kindle books, I think. And then the next brother is right behind him with the whole Kindle books thing is Greg Caesar. So Greg Caesar has a great course, and it's even something that you can allow your kids to start doing, which is another whole Kindle book. He teaches you how to do the research. So he has a lot of foundational principle stuff. He's a Haitian brother, and he teaches you how to get, you talked about 2,000, but his goal is to get you up to $4,000, because I think that's where he's at in that particular business. So he teaches people how to get the $4,000, and you basically over the shoulder mirror him, and then you duplicate the process. Does he have weekend stuff you can go in and see him in person, or what? Greg Caesar, you talking about Greg Caesar stuff? When you buy his course, it's basically over the shoulder. You're watching his screen, and he's showing you how he does the research to launch these books and what he's doing on the back end. He's showing you everything that you need to do to follow to mirror what he's doing. That's what he does. That's what he shows you. Okay. Yeah, so that's Greg Caesar.
Ask a question of every person that's in this group. I've got somebody that I'm willing to sponsor, but I would like to do a live, if you want to call it a study. I would like to take somebody. I've got somebody in mind, particularly, and give them $1,000.
Mute that other device you got open.
And with that $1,000, I would like to take them. I don't know.
I mean, you think that's need to be brought up like behind the scenes?
I didn't even hear what Lonnie said. Was you talking to me, Lonnie? Or
And somebody $1,000.
Lonnie, are you talking to me?
Take them from the ground level and watch them. What the heck is going on?
You need to press mute.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, because here's a couple of things I'm going to put on the table real quick. Lonnie, are you good or do you need a second? Hello?
I think it should be good now because I just got kicked off. I logged back in, so I'm gonna press mute.
Okay, that's where the echo is coming.
You know what? This is what I want to ask you, Ty. You know, one of the biggest things that I think.
Edward, hold on 1 second, because Lonnie was saying something. I didn't hear anything he said. I heard him say he wanted to sponsor somebody.
I would like to take somebody and give them $1,000. Help them. Well, first get them a product, and then take $1,000 and advertise, so that people can see what we're talking about is not just talk, that it's actual. We've got hard evidence saying, okay, you do A, B, C, D, whatever, in any field that we're referring to, whether it's mine, yours, Edwards, and record that on video and put those videos up to show people that we're not just talking, that what we're telling you is real, valid, important information.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's cool. Well, so moving along, the other brother I would say after great season, Ty Cohen, will probably be from a traffic standpoint. If you just want to learn how to drive traffic, would be Tommy Powers. So Tommy Powers has ran like over 40. Well, it's actually like probably like 60, 70 billion dollars worth of traffic, and he's actually established a lot of companies, large, high level companies like Agora, which is like the 900-pound gorilla in the room. You know what I'm saying? These guys are just, next level, and they got long money. So Agora. So Tommy Powers is somebody that I would tell you to look at from a traffic standpoint, and from a copywriting standpoint. And he has a group, and he does coaching. Is Suresh May. So Suresh is I think it's SURES and May, MAY. So he's actually here in Atlanta as well. And so he does in-persons. He actually has a party type deal. It's called the Wealth Weekly. And he has events here in Atlanta like once a month. All his people come together, get together, which is cool because you can sit down and talk to all of them and ask them, is it worth me paying the money to sit down and learn from Suresh, and so on and so forth. So so that's the Wealth Weekly. And his age group is typically anywhere between like, I don't know, let's just say 21 to 40. You know what I'm saying? 21 to 45. But I think Suresh himself is probably maybe like 32 years old, something like that. And he's written copy for Frank Kern and a lot of these other high-level internet marketers. He's written copy for them, and another brother. And from the women's standpoint, if you're a woman trying to follow other women, you have Myra Good. Myra Good is a phenomenal sister. And then you also have Monique. Man, I can't think of Monique's name, but if you look up like video marketing and Monique, I can't think of her last name. I'm sorry, live. So she's like a Facebook Live, any type of live platform. She's like the live expert. So that's somebody that you can follow. Her name is Monique. So yeah, so I think that's pretty. Oh, and then Justin. Oh, so if you're on the tech side, the software side of the house, and copywriting, Justin Burns, and he's been around for a long time. Speaker, coach, the whole nine. So Justin Burns is that brother's name.
Does he dabble in apps?
Yeah. He's big in apps. Yeah, he writes code.
On apps. Okay.
It's probably. I mean, that's probably the thing about it is I've never seen any cell phone apps, but I've seen a lot of other software, and more than likely he has those developer resources. So if there's a cell phone app that you want to create, then that would be the brother that I would tell you to go to. Oh, and then another brother would be I can't think of the name. I can't think of his name, but he created something called. Shoot, I can't think of the name of his product. What is it called? It's something Pages, not Lead Pages, but it's something other. It's something other Pages. But this, I met this brother at Traffic and Conversion, And this brother's probably a millionaire too, probably multi-millionaire, because he's been doing this ever since he was 18 years old. His father was an electrical engineer, and his father got him on coding at a young age. So he created, So he created a business, sold the business by the time he was 18 years old, and it was a web. No, I'm sorry, yeah. By the time he was 18 years old, he was in college when he had sold his first business. So this brother has a something that's compatible with lead pages. So it's on the level of lead pages. So he's created his own product and he's running that, selling that, and they actually shouted him out and featured him at Traffic and Conversion. And that's a brother too.
Yeah, we'll find. I'll find it.
Yeah.
I'll find it and put it in the comments section. That's one thing I'm good at mining, because here's the thing. One thing I will say, when you buy a lot of these products and courses, a lot of times, and that's why it stuck out to me when you said you need to focus on one specific thing. Because what I find is when you buy a lot of these courses, you will get one specific thing of. I'm not saying these courses are of value, but for your business, it's like one thing that's like, oh yes, that was worth me buying this course. If none of this other crap works, that is what I wanted. So it's just a different mindset when you get to, buying courses is like buying books. There's people that spend thousands of dollars on courses. Do you have to do that? No. But what happens is you'll get an eye for what information is current and what information is good. Now, you may not get to the point where you know what the bleeding edge changes are, like the stuff you said with like the algorithm changes. I'm like running into that with YouTube, because YouTube is doing so much different shit nowadays. But you'll get
ranking videos on YouTube
here. Huh?
You talking about ranking videos? You talking about ranking videos on YouTube?
Well, I'm trying to get a hold of that suggestion, learn about the suggestion engine and how to, manipulate the suggestion engine. Because for a long time, I used to focus on search engine marketing, which is good. But the majority of traffic is through the suggestion engine. And me personally, I haven't really gotten completely around how to do that. I follow people like Roberto Blake and other people that really get into the algorithm and stuff. But I'm still working on that. It's kind of like what you said with Amazon. It's like that little transition period where you realize, okay, let me get back in alignment with what y'all are doing. So that's like the new
so YouTube,
algorithm.
You're not talking about ranking a video within YouTube, right? That's not what you're trying to do, right?
No, I'm talking about being able to manipulate
you're trying to get into when I type, because you said the suggest. So that means when I'm typing something in to the YouTube search bar, some of your content auto-populates in there. Is that what you're talking about in the drop down?
Suggestion engine is like where, let's say somebody has like a really popular video. And let's say
you're talking about the video in the right-hand corner. That's that's
where the majority of views are coming from now. And I will tell you this, I'm always all for how to get ranked faster in YouTube as far as the search engine thing. And it's still good, but right now the holy grail is like understanding that how YouTube is doing the suggestion engine, because they don't just put all your videos by your videos anymore. They just put random videos based on what the user follows. So yeah,
okay.
Tyler, let me ask you this question, man. I heard you mention Facebook. I've used Facebook to do some internet marketing as far as paid. I was doing pay-per-click. I got a video made. I had a before and after thing done, and the before and after went bananas, right? And I'm trying to figure out on some stuff, like if I have something I'm trying to sell. You're talking about mastering Facebook. What other, besides the pay-per-click, what else do I need to master? What else do I need to learn? Because I know if I create a page for my particular product, like a like page or whatever, I don't even know how to get the likes up. Because people say use your friends. If I post something through my friend list, my friends are kind of like me. They'll just scroll on past it, or they might like it, don't even look at it, just keep moving. So I'm just trying to see what else is there. Is there something I'm missing or something I'm completely ignorant of when it comes to Facebook?
So hold on. That lady that I was talking about was Monique Johnson. That's her name, Monique Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah, Monique Johnson is the female lady that does the Facebook Live stuff. That question is kind of broad. Is very broad, because if I have because it's all about the product and what it is that it's all about what are you trying to do. So if I'm actually just trying to sell a product, I don't care anything about my friends and the page. I don't care about any of that. So so if I'm trying to sell these headbuds right here, what I would do is I would go on so if I'm trying to do this through Facebook, so I would go set up a Facebook page, business page on Facebook. I would set that up, and then I would try to get all my reviews and everything else and put all that stuff, on that page. And then from there, when you start running the ads, you will get likes, comments, and shares when you start running the ads on Facebook, because the organic reach on Facebook is somewhat dead unless you start doing some tricks and stuff. So unless you start using some software and unless you start getting some software that's going to scrape Facebook and you got a VPS set up to where your stuff is in the cloud and you're scraping it, not from your home address and all types of stuff like that, to try to figure out what's really going on, then outside of that, you don't have to worry about all that. But you can just basically create your business page, have all your contact information there, website and everything else, and just go into maybe some of the other popular pages that's similar to your stuff and looking at which one of their posts has the most engagement. And then you can kind of sort of use something similar to that to create your advertising piece.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of, I hate hearing that it's kind of, I hate hearing that it's, oh, Jay, you got a question? Because you echoing.
Yeah, I had a question about sourcing for both physical and also digital products. What are some I guess lists? Because you gave out a list of gurus and stuff like that. What about some sourcing?
Well, hold on, because you said sourcing for both digital and physical products. So clarify what you mean by sourcing digital products. You just mean a source or who to buy from?
Yeah, such as like manufacturers, and because I know sometimes a lot of people are doing white label. So what are some places that you can get like white label products, or like white label master reseller rights to certain digital products, or like different ebooks and stuff like that?
Yep. So for digital products, all you need to do is just type in PLR. And I think I forgot what PLR stands for. I don't know if that was private label. I forgot.
Rights. Private label rights.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, so you can search for PLR books, PLR courses, PLR whatever, and you'll pull that up. So that's easy. You can go to Google and do that, and then from there you can buy that stuff and put your brand up.
I guess I was mostly looking for like physical products because I've already done the PLR. I've done some digital marketing, mostly with physical products. I found that works out better for me. And what I was looking at, because you had mentioned about Shea Moisture and contacting their manufacturing department and seeing what kind of deal would you work out with them. Can you like maybe walk through the process of calling or negotiating a certain deal like that that's already like branded for the example you gave for like Shea Moisture or something like that, or any other example that you may have?
Well, that was just a hypothetical. I was just just making that up. But, you may want to you might. Okay. So from the digital from a sourcing a product standpoint, you can start off with going to AliExpress or going to Alibaba and basically checking a lot of the seals that they have over in the left-hand corner, because that allows them to do other searches. I mean, not other searches, but that allows them to. What those seals mean is that Alibaba has gone out and supposedly checked out these guys to make sure that these guys aren't just taking your money and running. So that's what those extra seals of those trust seals do when you click on those. So that's Alibaba. So I would tell you to go on Alibaba, start typing stuff into there. So that's if you're trying to source from China. So I would tell you to start off with Alibaba. The second thing I would tell you, which is more expensive, would be to actually fly to the Canton Fair. And when you get to the Canton Fair, you can walk through the Canton Fair, or you can start walking. You can also go to Yiwu as well, and you can go to Yiwu and start doing some sourcing there. And outside of the Canton Fair, you can do some sourcing there. Back to the internet, you can go to Google and you can type in private label supplier, or you can also type in white label products or white label manufacturers or private label manufacturers, and you can source your products that way. And then lastly, if I was to go to a Shea Moisture or Design Essentials, that's what the company I was thinking about. If I was to go to a Design Essentials, I would let them see that, you know, that screenshot of me making $136,000 in a month, and I'll basically just tell them, this is what I did for this product, and this is what I think I can do for one of your products. Allow me to have that product too. So one, I already have the trust and the authority, so they can already see, okay, and again, it goes right back to this book right here and scientific advertising. I'm just using these principles from this book. I'm not this smart, so I'm just coming up with this stuff off the top of my head. So I'm already, and also influence. Influence is written by the Cialdini? Is it Cialdini? I think it's Cialdini. Yeah, Cialdini, I think. Is it Cialdini? Yeah. But anyway, the book is called Influence. That's a book that you want to get. So, because I think I'm actually referencing Influence right now. So in the book Influence, he talks about, you know, establishing authority and all types of stuff like that. So if I approach them, I will basically come to them saying, this is what I've done in the past. This is what I've done. And this is what happened to allow me to get here today. Basically let them know, you know, I don't know, the supplier that I had couldn't supply my product no more, so I'm down to my last $1,000, and I'm looking for a product that I can run Facebook ads with, because I'm tired of, you know, dealing with suppliers that can't supply me the product when I need it. So I can use my skill set the same way I made myself successful. I can use my skill set to make you successful, and let's broker what's called a revenue share, where you share on you share the amount of money that you're actually generating to this company. And what you would also want to do is, if I had this last $1,000, what I want to do is basically spend some of that money on testing. And then once I found something that was working and I got ready to scale it, I would go back to them and ask them for money to spend on advertising. So that's what I would do. Does that answer your question, Jay? Jay, does that answer your question?
Oh yeah, brother. That was a good response. Last thing I wanted to ask you, because you know all good workers have tools. What are certain type of tools or bots that maybe, if you can keep it to 3 or 5, if you know of them, that you would suggest that internet marketers use in order to make the process a lot easier, automatize it, and also get a competitive edge in the marketplace?
Specifically for what?
Yeah, that's. I guess I should be more specific with that. Let's start with, just keep it simple with first and foremost, advertising. You know, drawing traffic to a site. Second, I guess would be for studying patterns, knowing what the trends in the market, and then third would actually be for, I guess, similar products or something like that, or similar sellers.
Well, so what I would say you is basically, you can go to Google Trends and figure out what's going on in the market, because that's very broad. But if you know what your niche is, so if you're in the hair niche, then you know you can type in maybe certain keywords like, you know, hair extensions or bundle deals or whatever, and then that way you can start to see what's actually going on or what people are looking for in Google. And then you could also carry that. Now that you have that basis of knowledge, you can carry it over to Amazon, and you can look at Amazon Top 100, and you can see what products are selling there. There's tools from that standpoint. There's a tool called Jungle Scout, and there's another tool called DS Domination. No, it's not DS Domination. It's DS Amazon Inspector is what it's called, and it's actually a black power fist. So those are two tools for that. And there's also ASIN Inspector Pro, which also actually searches Amazon, Walmart, eBay, Ebates, and like a couple, and I think Alibaba, AliExpress too. And then so those are for your whole private label products. And then from the advertisement standpoint, I don't really know of any tools from the advertising standpoint and that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, so if you're not able to think of any advertising tools for your strategy and your approach or your philosophy, would you say when it comes to ranking a certain type of keyword or ad word, are you looking for, I know you're trying to break down the word to to the most specific and basic term, but are you looking for words that are not being used by other bidders, so that way there's not much competition when it comes to bidding that word? Or are you looking for a keyword that's hot and you're trying to outbid someone else for that? What's mostly your advertising or keyword strategy when it comes to like trying to rank up there as one of the highest?
Okay, so just to clarify, one, you're actually saying two things that are basically like crossing over each other. So let's separate these two things. Ranking for a keyword doesn't have anything to do technically with AdWords. So the AdWords side of the house is kind of sort of almost the same thing with Facebook. When you're dealing with these advertising platforms, whether it's Google Display, which I've done a little bit on. I'm not an expert nowhere at all with Google Display, but again, the principles, I understand the principles, so they're pretty much the same. So what I'm looking at as far as keywords is concerned is what words are people looking for when they're looking for my specific product. So again, it goes back to what is it that you're selling, and how is your customer articulating what it is that you're selling? Because you may call it an algorithm, the customer may call it a bot, the customer may call it a robot. You know what I'm saying? You call it water, scientists may call it H2O. So it requires you to do your own research. So now that you've done the research, and now that you know what words your customers are using to define your product, now you go into AdWords, and yes, you do outspend other people, but you outspend them according to what it is that you can make. So if you can make $10 off of that keyword, you may only want to spend, let's say $5 or $7, depending on how much money you got. So that's that for AdWords, and it would also be the same thing for Facebook, because that's called cost per acquisition or cost per customer is what that's referred to. Now, on the SEO side of the house, from a ranking standpoint, that is a very long and laborious task for ranking, and I wouldn't put that information out here for public. But I will tell you this: the one thing that you need to realize is once you have selected your keyword, that keyword comes with a family of keywords or ecosystem of keywords, and you want to have content written around that whole ecosystem. So again, you want to become a subject matter expert, and this is why you can't be here, there, and everywhere doing 50 million different things, because just to rank a keyword right now, and again, you're not ranking one keyword, you're going to be ranking the whole ecosystem of those keywords. So which is great, because you start learning a lot more about the whole ecosystem or the whole universe of that particular keyword. And I'm using these words not just to be descriptive, but I'm actually using these words because this is how these are the type of words that they're using: ecosystem of keywords and universe of keywords. So you want to have content, and you're talking about the level of content. And Neil deGrasse, but Neil Tyson deGrasse, but it's actually Neil Patel wrote a great article, and that's somebody that I would tell you to follow. He's an Indian brother, but Neil Patel is phenomenal. He puts out a lot of free information, and this information basically just to kind of sort of give you some working knowledge. It's not something for you really to try to go apply and then go rank something. It's just really good working knowledge. He just put out an article the other day that said that when you do draft a piece of content for your website, it needs to be about 2,000 words long. So when we start talking about ranking for that one specific keyword, you're looking at having an article that's about 2,000 words long that organically and naturally mentions these other words that are in your ecosystem. And then from there, you want to start looking at that as like it's basically the pyramid effect. So then from there, once you have that one article with that, once you have that one article, then what are all the other related articles underneath it? And you can call it a silo, you can call it a tiered silo or a flat silo, whatever you want to call it. But that's basically what you're going to have.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Anytime.
Hello.
My man, what's up, bro?
How's it going?
Ain't that, man? Slow motion, man. This is my partner Tyron. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the other video. This is the guy I told you about when I talked to you the other day. Yeah. So, but Tyron, I want to ask you a question, bro. I have a product. I'm trying digital product. Would you advise me getting a lead page, or would you? I get a lead page which then when they try to purchase, they go to the Amazon page to purchase, or would you say I just click directly from Facebook and let them go directly into Amazon to purchase? Do I need the lead page or not? And what I'm trying to do is use pay-per-click advertising.
Yeah, so if you're trying to do pay-per-click advertising, there's two different ways to do that. One, you can start off with what's called a video sales letter, which I think may be in this book right here.
I bought that book. I'm like halfway through it. So
yeah, so it may be in that book. I'm not sure. But if you're creating a video sales letter or something similar to that, then you're giving the customer enough information and enough education to allow them to make an educated decision in buying your product. So at that point in time, you may be able to pass them directly over to Amazon. If not, then you may want to have a page that they that they stop at. And I would actually tell you to actually have that page that they stop at, because you can then start doing retargeting on that customer. And so you can put the Facebook pixel on that additional page, and then you can create another lookalike audience of people that have gone that far, and then you can create that lookalike audience, and then you can either that'd be a better audience for you to start to target. If you try to create a whole nother ad, then you can basically build your ad based off of that audience. Or if people have gotten there and they came back to Facebook and they didn't buy, then you can kind of sort of use the pixel that's on that page to retarget people to make sure they come through and buy. So having what's called a bridge page is very helpful, and that bridge page can be built out pretty extensive. So before you launch anything, I would tell anybody to make sure that you have some sort of some proof elements, like what I told Lonnie before, where people have actually used the product, or in your case, if it's a book, people have actually read the book. They found the book was helpful. They used the book, and this is what the outcome was. So allowing people to see themselves, already see what the end result looks like, is very helpful in selling anything, whether it's digital or physical.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
So, well, you said lead page. I mean, it's not a lead page. You call it what did you call it?
A bridge page. But that's what lead.
One page. That's one page where you got the copy going down, and at the bottom you buy.
Yeah, it's a lead page. ClickFunnels. All these guys with these pages. If your advertising is here, and then there's something here, and then where they're going to purchase at is over here, which is a whole other website. They're just calling that the bridge between these two different sites. That's why they call it a bridge page.
Okay. So would you? What's the question? Go ahead, man. I forgot. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Oh no! All I was gonna say is typically a bridge page is designed to pre-sell the customer, kind of warms the customer up. It transitions the customer, so it's not like you're just hitting them with something. So they're more likely to convert. And also a bridge page serves is like, if they click off, it's kind of like a central point where you can get a retargeting audience, because a retargeting audience on Facebook is basically, if you do, like, let's say you want to advertise to people. And remember when Ty said that 15 million people was too much? That's because that's way too broad. And what happens is you want to niche that down to a better targeted audience with certain things that people liked and stuff like that. But the point is, what happens is you get that targeted, and then they go as far as they come in the funnel. And a lot of times the bridge page, if they don't go further, that's one of the first of the central pages that you can create a retargeting audience, which you can say, okay, these people got this far, they know this much information. Maybe I can come at them at a different angle to get them to actually buy, because they're already familiar with what your product is.
So Facebook has this new functionality.
Right.
Facebook has this new functionality where you actually get leads, you get phone numbers, email addresses, because I used it when I had my the other business I was doing. And one of the things that I kind of talked to Tyrone, it kind of turned me off because I think I was in between projects at the time. But you spoke about copy, and you talked about spending $500-600 for copy. You said, which it really makes a difference as far as your conversion rate. Where should I go to get some good copy made to put on that lead page?
Upwork.com.
Upwork.
Yep.
Okay. That was quick. All right.
That's what I'm here for.
Yep. That's what I got you.
I got one for you, brother. Let's say you putting together more like a video presentation on I want to say YouTube, but I don't like converting people to YouTube, so that way they might see other videos and may get off of my site and forget what they was checking out in the first place. So let's say we're doing a video towards my website. You have any advice for marketing using videos?
You muted, man. You muted.
What happened?
I'm
Did you
muted.
hear
I
any?
have to say that.
Did you hear any? Oh, okay, that's what that is. Oh, okay, I got you. Oh.
So that's, I mean, that's all it is. So that's what that's called for your research purposes.
Mhm.
That's called video sales letter. That's what it's called, a video sales letter.
I heard of Boom Boom too.
Vimeo is good for that too.
Yeah, Vimeo. Boom Boom doesn't have no.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hey, could you mute right
Oh,
quick?
my bad.
You good? Go ahead, Black.
Yeah, Boom Boom doesn't allow for any. It doesn't have any extra videos. It's just that one video and that's it. And you can send it in emails as well. Like you can send that video an email, and it'll turn it into like one of those little GIF files, and it'll just kind of like it'll kind of give like a little semi preview of it. It's pretty cool, man. Boom Boom.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
There's ways to remove the YouTube symbol at the lower right hand too, so that people aren't able to click on it. So there are ways to do that, because a lot of digital products, a lot of high level marketers, they will use YouTube. I mean, they use Vimeo, but they'll use YouTube as well if they're doing something for right now. So there's ways. A lot of these high end sites like Lead Pages and stuff do have functionalities where you can remove that, so that's not a problem. But but there's other sites too. So
I appreciate that.
The code to remove that is called no referral. So you can look for like no referral HTML code, and then once you add the embed code of the YouTube video, you can add on that no referral code at the end, and that way you won't have the I think maybe a little bit more code, but it's really, I mean, the code strip is probably about that long, like it's a real short piece of code, and you can add that to the end of the embed video, so that way they won't be able to see the YouTube, or they won't be able to see the I think the play button or something like that either. So it just, I don't know if it'll autoplay, or maybe they can see. I don't even think they can see the play button. So yeah, you just click on the video plays, and you can't like pause it or do anything like that to it or something, unless you just click on it again.
There's this guy out there that's doing email marketing by the name of Khan. He's getting endorsed by Robert Kiyosaki. He says he's making millions of dollars, supposedly, all just straight off of internet marketing. I don't know if his name is Khan, but is this dude? It looks like it's some type of Middle Eastern or Indian descendant type of guy, and I don't know if you have any experience with him.
Does he spell copy with a K?
Yes, that's him.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's solid.
Yep.
So you've invested a lot of time in these conferences. What would be a good conference if someone was wanting to go and get their feet wet at a conference? What will be some good conferences?
Traffic and Conversion 2018. Ryan Dice.
Where is it?
In San Diego.
Oh, everything.
So you talk about Ryan Dice, and you have experience with Khan. Have you worked with Khan personally, or what is really his gist? Or I know he does email marketing, but what can you say about him and how he works, and how is he different from these other guys?
What other guys?
some of the guys you mentioned before, because for me, Khan is kind of a new player to step up to bat, and I haven't really got a chance to really take a look at him. I read a few of his emails, but he's claiming that he's doing all of this just off of email marketing, meaning that he's sending people emails. I don't know if he's doing digital products or if he's doing physical products, or what type of advertising is he using to support his emails, because I know he's not through using an autorespond. I know he uses an autoresponder, but I know he has to be doing more than just uploading a whole bunch of emails and then just pressing send and getting responses back. It's got to be a little bit more intricate than that. I don't know if you can touch base on that, if you know a little bit of exactly what his philosophy is.
So what kind is, so that's one. So that's one. And then part two is Khan is also running Facebook ads. So if you go to Khan's website and then you jump on Facebook, you're probably going to get retargeted with some ads. So he is probably making, you know, I don't know how much of his money with with Facebook with emails, because he does send out a lot of emails. But I'm sure he probably has some sort of mastermind or something like that as well, which is again like digital products. So I'm sure he has his email marketing that he's doing. He probably has some sort of mastermind going, and I've seen him turn a digital product into a physical product. So what he was doing was he was teaching people copywriting, because that's his space. So he was teaching people copywriting, and what he would do is he would mail you out like letters or something like that that you can mirror to create your own copy, like week after week. So like his whole thing was, you know, sit down with a cup of coffee, read this letter, and so on and so forth. And then of course he's so I think I said that he probably has a mastermind. He's running Facebook ads. He's doing email marketing. He's turned his digital product into a physical product, and he's also selling digital courses where he actually teaches you with the whole membership site and that whole thing. So that's what Khan has going. So he's a digital marketer.
He's capitalizing on the funnel of the customer. He gets one customer, and he doesn't just sell you one product. He's got multiple products and constantly selling them over and over again. So you buy one product, but he's probably got 10 products, and by the time it's done, he done sold you on 10 different products, and you don't realize it. Instead of spending just $60, you end up spending $300, and you multiply 300 times 1,000 people in a given day. Yeah, he's making millions.
I want to piggyback off that. One thing we haven't talked about, Ty, I don't think, and maybe I was off the phone when you did, so forgive me, is the concept of a sales funnel. And the reason why I want to do that is because a lot of what I'm hearing, like, for instance, the way that was framed is like, you know, he's kind of doing something nepotist. And the reality,
I would mean it like that.
Oh, okay. So I'm glad I'm on the right page.
We're trying to really get the idea of the game, because, you know, me personally, if I can see the outcome, that light at the end of the tunnel, I'm gonna stick with it. But if I'm not able to see it, and if I have an idea of how long this, if I don't have an idea of how long this is gonna last, it kind of rubs me off the wrong way, because, like I said, it's like dripping on you to keep you going. And while you're learning, you can't learn all this information in one day. You're still paying for that course, and you haven't made any money yet. So that's what I was.
I can understand what I will.
That's why I was trying to understand his game. But if he has results, I will pay. The money's not the issue. I just wanted to understand like his strategy or his approach of things.
Let me emphasize one thing here. I don't think, you know, that a lot of this stuff is meant to be bad. You got to keep in mind, number one, this is business. Number two, they're trying to capitalize on the people that they do have, and reoccurring, keeping the money flowing. There's no difference than anybody else that's doing business. That's why I use the word capitalize. I think that he's capitalizing on the customer, because if he capitalizes on you as a customer and you speak good of him, word of mouth is still valid when it comes to advertising.
Yeah, so all I wanted thing is echo. All I wanted to add to that is this. A lot of times when you have a coaching program, like when I see people that have coaching programs, because there's different sales funnels depending on what you're trying to do. And I feel like a lot of times people are, it's kind of like martial arts. I feel like people are saying, well, I want to learn how to fight, when in reality, it depends on what you're really trying to do. And in coaching, for instance, a lot of times these coaches are looking for key clients. They're looking for high-end clients. And what happens is they may be searching only for like a select group of clients, and they will project themselves. It's kind of like when you see these real estate seminars that happen like in real life. What they do is they'll give you a free seminar, then you come back and they'll run ads on that seminar. Then you'll come back and then they'll get you to pay for that seminar for like 3 days. And then that's when they sell you the real product. The reason why they made you pay for the second seminar is to pretty much make their money back on the advertising they did to get you back on the to get you into the initial seminar. And then what happens is after the 3 days are over, they will offer you like these big high tier products. And really what they're looking for is they're looking for a couple people to pay like 40, 50, 60,000 so they can do hands on. It's not that they're trying to play everybody else, because they may have gave them valuable information for that $50 that they spent. But the reality is, and this goes back to what Ty was saying, is a lot of times people are not serious. So the more skin you have in the game, the more you know they're serious. And the sales funnel is really designed to distill who is serious, because the people that are serious, you can constantly make more money off of them as a partner. So as you're feeding them more information, they're going to constantly pay you more information, because you've actually helped them make money. So they are called profit centers. So it's not so much I'm making money off of them. It's more these people are serious, so they're making money, so I can offer my services to keep them updated. So it's a different mindset.
That's true, brother. But you also got to always know what game is being ran, or else you're going to get hit with it. You can learn all the information, but if you don't understand what level of game is being played, you can only take it so far. One of the things I wanted to ask was, for the email marketing, what type of tools, like a blaster or like a major exporter of emails, let's say I have 100,000 emails or more, is there a tool that you guys know that I can upload my emails onto my email addresses onto that, and then blast it out to everyone on that list? And then from there, whether if it's a reply I get back, I automatically have my autoresponder respond back to that email to kind of automate that email marketing process.
MailChimp.
Or you know what? You have Podio too. Podio. Podio, you have Salesforce, you have no
limits, because a lot of those guys actually have limits.
Podio doesn't have limits. The only thing with that is Podio is a system that you kind of have to build out to your specifications primarily. But if you get something like Zendesk, Salesforce, a lot of those systems, they're CRMs, and they have customer management relations. Customer relation managers. And what they do is
it compatible with VTiger?
A lot of them are compatible with a lot of different, like what you do is you connect to like Zapier. Zapier is it's a
they build out connections for different apps.
Exactly. And then Microsoft just introduced a new one called Flow. It does the same thing. So even if they're not directly compatible, you can always use something like Zapier to tie in all of the missing ends. So like with Podio is completely customizable. So it's because and they already have their own thing called Globiflow, right? And what Globiflow does is it allows you to be able to make all of these different interconnections between any type of process that you want. It's limitless, literally.
Is it open source?
Open source. You can and you don't have to use coding to create your flows. You know what I mean? Like a lot of this stuff is just you put in your like you just make the connections yourself, like however you want to do it. Like
using like a graph, like a chain connection graph with a chart.
Exactly. So like you can use Globiflow to fill out your, say for instance, if you want to send out a contract, it'll automatically, fill out your contract for you, send it to them. It will also do autoresponders, like autoresponder emails. and you can set those specific dates, and they can be targeted based on the customer feedback. So if the customer feedbacks one way, you could have a different set of autoresponders sent out emails to them. If they respond a certain way, it'll send out a different list. You can kind of move it around and customize it however you want.
I appreciate that, brother. I got one last question. That's for the brother with the glasses. I'm Tyrone. Real quick, I know you have a service program that you put together for people that would like to learn, and your time is valuable. But, you know, I got through this call and also through this platform through Sub-Zero. Would you be open for possibly the people that is on this call, or that we can congregate together to maybe put our money together so that way we can use your course, or possibly have some type of training program where we each kind of like how can I say, you know how like you put your money together to buy office supplies, that way different companies can put their money to buy it wholesale and buy more products? Is that something you would be open to? Because if we got 10 brothers and we each put, let's say, what, $200 a month, that's what, $2,000? So yeah. I think you said your charge is about $5,000 for a face-to-face interaction. So with the platform, how we have it here on Google Hangouts, because you don't got to fly out.
I think, he fell off. Well, I guess it's being recorded. It's being recorded. But the course that I have, one of the courses is just focused on Amazon, and I think what Lonnie has been mostly talking about is drop shipping. So, say
that again, brother. I kind of fell off the line. I didn't catch it.
Yeah. So what I was saying was that the course that I created is already on YouTube. So I don't have a website and all that type of stuff like that. It was just recorded on live, and then it's on YouTube. But it's primarily focused on Amazon. But I guess you could use the same principles on eBay as well. But I don't know exactly what you guys be trying to do. But I think I was selling the course for like $200 or like $197 per module. So so that's basically 4 videos, and I would need to redo the 5th video because that content. The launch process that I was telling has changed. So we need to change the launch process. But
so you were Google. So I take it you were Amazon. Like you did only private products, or were you an affiliate of Amazon and was getting kickbacks?
No, I was private label. The same brand that I was running on Amazon, I'm now running on my own Shopify store and sitting and paying traffic to.
So you
said earlier, my bad, Jay. You said on the other video that traffic is kind of leaning towards paid traffic, or things are getting like paid traffic is the thing to do. You say when you went to the conferences. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying that is basically that see if my screen will pop up. That's where I'm at for today for 12 for the clock.
You see it.
So that's why I can sit here and talk to y'all.
They call you the drunken master for that, man. Drunken master.
Please talk to me.
That's why I can sit here and talk to y'all. But so I only did private label. I only did private label products because that's where the money that I don't know about the affiliate stuff. You probably have to again maybe run some traffic. I don't know, or maybe do some sort of SEO stuff. But a lot of these platforms are making it pay to play because they're creating their own cost pay per click services or cost per click, which is a CPC, which is what's going on Amazon. So even my mentor that was doing $100,000 a month on Amazon, when one of these companies that came out of nowhere, I don't know if it's a big retail company or just somebody who had some deep pockets, and it's probably was some sort of conglomerate or something, but he was number one for one of his main products, and these guys just came in and they were spending money on advertising, and when they spent that money, they were already in position one. So he saw over probably half of the clicks that he was getting, half of the orders that he was getting get cut in half because these guys came in with deeper pockets and they was able to outspin a lot of people and just dominate the first page of Amazon, and their business soared, and a lot of people fell off because they wasn't able to keep up, or they was just riding SEO. Like me, I was one of those people that was just riding off of SEO, and I didn't have to do any paid advertising because I was number one, and at the time it was cool. So it wasn't until the algorithm, I got hit with the hazmat algorithm, that I was just like, let me go ahead and jump on Amazon. Go and jump on Shopify and do my own thing. So who is that? Amazon is doing that. Who else is doing that? I think Amazon was the last place that I guess eBay. I guess you can still rank for stuff on eBay, and I don't know. I guess you can still do SEO on eBay. I'm not an eBay expert. I don't know the eBay algorithm. The guys that I know that did do the last presentation that I saw on eBay was a guy actually ranking an eBay listing to get traffic to it so that he could be number one, Google traffic, so that he could be number one in eBay. And I don't even know if that works anymore.
Yeah, I remember that there's like people used to talk
but hold on, because let me go back to Jay's question. So Jay, the course is incomplete, but that would be $800 right there just for you to buy the course and just listen to what I've already recorded. So that's $800. But the launch process is something that I have the slides for, and but I would need to re-record the live. I would need to re-record the presentation of it. So that's something that people can buy, and then from there, you can launch products. But I don't know if that's exactly what you're saying. But
I think I was more so looking at for the course and all that, $800. That's whatever. It's a pair of Jordans. What I'm going for is what you're talking about. Like right now, like how we're able to have your time to ask you certain questions and certain things that I'm not sure if it's already in the course, like talking about the algorithm, breaking it down, staying up ahead on the updates as they occur, and different questions. So that way, let's say I do the course, whoever does the course, something changes, I can ask you a question and see what's happening, what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So again, that's you've asked a question, and a multitude of people have asked the question. Hold on for a second. So when I went to this event, which was the one-click upsell event, I got this belt for e-commerce. White, black, Asian, African. Your boy walked away with the belt. So a lot of people have been asking me for consulting and all type of stuff like that, and I really don't have the time. I really don't have the time to do it. I mean, I got this time that we're doing right now, but when you start really digging into to campaigns and stuff like that, I mean, people, especially people give you money, then they want their product, which will obviously be my time. So so I'm just kind of.
I understand. I know what you mean. You got other things to do.
Yeah.
I appreciate you answering the question, brother.
Anytime.
Hey, let me ask you this right quick. I'm gonna squeeze this in because I'm gonna have to go. I gotta go to work in the morning. Unlike, I wish I was in your position, but check this out, man.
I'm gonna try to get up early tomorrow, but
but check this out.
Let's go.
I want you to, if you could, at the end of the video, I would like you to mention you mentioned a couple of mastermind groups, because that might be able to be something that Jay could jump in. Maybe somebody in there that will do. So you mentioned some mastermind groups of people that's really, kind of close to your level or on your level. That's pretty good. What are they? Can you name them? Are they on Facebook?
Yeah. There's a guy. You got Trackify. So that's Track, and then so these are physical. So these are guys that are launching physical products, and so Trackify is one. So that's Track, and then IFY. So Trackify. So that's one, and that's held by Thomas and John. I just came from their event in LA.
That's on Facebook.
That's on all these groups are on Facebook. I'm not on any other platform really.
The private
So Facebook, and then the next one I would suggest, which is this cat named Steve Tan. His group is called E-commerce Elites, and this dude is doing $100,000 a day. So what it take me to do in a month, Steve is doing in a day. His team, because it's not just him. With me is it's kind of sort of just me. But so Steve is an Asian cat. Obviously, Steve Tan, STEVETAN. Steve Tan has E-commerce Elites, and that's a phenomenal group. Trying to think, is there any other groups? Well, I guess other groups just more so focus on Shopify. But yeah, so those. I mean, realistically, if you just went to Steve Tan's group, which is E-commerce Elites, I mean, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good there. And then of course the Facebook algorithm will start kicking in and start showing you these other groups as well.
Is that group E-commerce Elite paid? You got to pay to get in, or you just
No. I wouldn't tell you groups that you got to pay to get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you would have ultimately you would be in those groups because you paid $1,000, something like that for the course, and then from there they put you into the group.
I'm gonna take your advice. I'm going to put your theory to the test. I'm gonna brand a product, and I'm gonna buy this book, and I'm gonna keep y'all posted. Cause I feel like we conversating, but we got to show. And I appreciate what you did by showing me those numbers. And I understand you started this 2 years ago, roughly.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's why I want to do it, because I'm gonna be honest. I got $3,000 that I can do whatever I want to do with it, and I'm gonna take that $3,000 and I'm gonna go to the e-commerce elite, and I'm gonna start it. I don't know nothing about branding, so I'm gonna say this now.
You don't need to know nothing about branding. I didn't know anything about branding till a while ago. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't even start focusing on. I'm still not really. Well, the only thing you really need to know about branding, the main thing you need to know about branding, two things I'll tell you that you should know before you go super deep into branding. So the two things I will tell you, and I'm not a branding expert, but the two things that I would tell you, two principal things that I would tell you, which will probably never change. So the two principal things that I would tell you about branding is, one, brand is basically when people say what is branding, is basically a story, and that story is basically your sales copy. You know what I'm saying? How did you create this? Why did you create this? What made you start doing this? And so on and so on and so forth. So that's the first thing, understanding your origin story of your product. Then the second thing you need to know, which is going to allow you to be able to do your email marketing, your SEO, your pay-per-click, generating your content and everything else, is your theme. What is the overarching, what is the huge idea behind your brand? And it doesn't have anything to do with your product. So for instance, I use the church because that's perfect. So the church's overarching theme is God. That's the church's overarching theme. Coca-Cola's overarching theme is happiness. So anything that relates to happiness, is the type of things that they focus on. So they do philanthropic work, to make people happy or to provide some sort of joy into people's life. And then of course you have your nemesis. That's anything negative or anybody else's product. For the church is Satan, sinners, and so on and so forth. And so those are the things. So those are the things that you want to create when you're creating a brand. Is one, the brand story, the origin story, and number two, the overarching theme. So that way you can start looking at organic partnerships, and now that's how you start providing value to your customers. And you don't care about who else you quote unquote share your customers with, because that's more value that's coming from you. And that's what I'm starting to do now, is go out and interview people and basically allow other people to sell my customers that I've gotten things, because I don't care, because I'm providing this overarching theme of value to my customers.
That's great advice. That really is great advice. That's worth the whole damn hangout right there. Seriously.
I don't know about that, man.
Oh, I'm serious. If you know, look, y'all gotta game is being dropped down, and I'm telling you, a lot of that really distills a lot of things for me as far as branding is concerned.
Okay, I see. That makes sense.
Well, look, man,
You showed
I'm
me
about to
something.
head out. I'm about to head out, man. I'm tired. I got to get up in the morning, get my little boy ready, man, and go on to work, man. So I appreciate everything. Y'all have a great.
Like,
What's your contact information, brother?
Tyron. I get.
Oh yeah, this Tyron, Tieron Spear, Spear, and you'll find me on YouTube.
Yeah. So, hey,
Thank you,
thanks,
brother.
Mr. Black. Thanks, everybody, man. I appreciate everything, man. Y'all have a great night, man. Thanks a lot, Tyron.
Anytime.
All right.
Peace.